Take back.
What's going on, everybody? How's everybody doing? Cheyenne, what's going on? Angel Blue Eyes. P. Conyers. What's up? Emily's Blunt. Leah, May, Heaven Lee. E. Donald, what's going on? Delilah the Survivor, how are you? Heaven Lee, what's going on? Lorraine, what's up, Lorraine? Dory, how are you? Yeah, I did TikTok this morning, Dory. JVG Sunflower, what's going on? Clara, what's up? I think Hegseth will actually get impeached. I don't know what's going to end up happening with that. I don't hold my breath, but they're definitely breaking the law. There's no doubt about it. Deb, what's going on? Sass, what's going on? How are you? Autumn, what's up? Tracy, E.E. Green, Jennifer, Corey, how's everybody doing? Guys, I'd appreciate hitting the thumbs up button. Yeah, what they're doing is entirely criminal. The question of whether or not they'll be held accountable, I don't know. I would think under normal circumstances, yes, but under these circumstances, probably not. I just have little hope when it comes to these things. I know it's always insufferable. It really is, always. But would appreciate everybody hitting the share button, sharing this out on your pages. Like, this is really important. YouTube cares a lot about shares and stuff like that. So they also care about the thumbs up button, all those types of things. I would appreciate doing those things. But the big news today, there's a couple things, but primarily they caught the pipe bomber. So apparently this person who dropped the pipe bombs, who a lot of people thought was Marjorie Taylor Greene for the longest time, turned out to be someone else. Now, do we know? I don't know. But the person's name is Brian Jerome Cole Jr., a 30-year-old man from Woodbridge, Virginia. He was arrested, obviously, for planting those pipe bombs outside both the Democratic and Republican National Committee headquarters in Washington, D.C. This was on the eve of the January 6th Capitol riot. I wonder what kind of information they're going to get out of him. But what it seems to me is Kash Patel desperate for a W. Kash Patel looking for wins. You know, Kash Patel is like on the hot seat, so he's got issues there. So now we find out, is this another investigation that was 99% completed and Kash Patel swooped in at the last minute and completed the investigation? I don't know. I guess we'll find out. It probably is an incel, yes. So that's what it is. The guy is 30 years old, lived in Woodbridge, Virginia. He's expected to face federal explosive charges, though the exact charges have not been made public that I've seen. The pipe bombs were placed just hours before the Capitol riot. I mean, this person has to know something, right? Or is this going to be another case of someone just getting arrested and going away and we don't hear anything else about it? That's really the question here. Andy, thank you for the $4.99 super chat. Appreciate you so much, Andy. That helps push the live too, those super chats. push the live into the algorithm. So I guess we're going to find out whether or not this person had information. If you are a Trump supporter, you can call in 908-652-3703. Do you guys see I put that little phone icon there now? Hopefully it's looking cleaner and cleaner. I had a couple more things I need to do with the background, but it's good for now. Yeah, I just think, look, I'm not going to be that type of conspiracy person, but like, if you think about it, why every single time something happens with this Epstein stuff, like why every single time something happens with the Epstein stuff, some other long case gets solved? Did you ever notice that? Like right as we're about to break through with something with the Epstein, it's like, oh yeah, by the way, we caught the pipe bomber. It's like, what? Fish oil. No, I haven't seen the picture of the person. Let me look it up and see if I can bring up a picture, I'll do it. Obviously, I know the security. I've seen the security camera stuff. But I have not seen a picture of him yet. Let me bring it up. So they're saying this is him. This first post says, whoever the January 6th pipe bomber was, they waved at Capitol Police. That's the pipe bomber? Wait, that's the dad. Wait. Hold on a second. Guys, this is kind of weird. All right, let me bring this up really quick, and you guys tell me if this makes any sense to you whatsoever. This is supposedly the pipe bomber. What in the world? Hold on, I'm bringing up his picture right now. This is who they're saying the pipe bomber is. And I have a post where they're commenting below. That is supposedly dad, mom, and the pipe bomber on the right. That is supposedly dad, mom, and the pipe bomber. And if you can read the text, Loretta Cole says, me and my two grandsons, Brian Jr. and Brandon Cole. Oh, never mind. I'm sorry. I didn't see the caption below. That's the grandmother. Brandon, I think, is on the right. They're saying. Let me bring up another one here. I don't know, man. I need to see this person walk before I believe this shit. Like, I don't want to be that person, but here's another picture that's circulating right now. I don't know, man. Here's another picture that is circulating right this moment. This is the January 6th pipe bomber. The guy, again, this is all alleged. I have not seen an official publication post a picture yet, but they're saying this is what's circulating on social media, that the person they're claiming is Brian Jerome Cole, a 30-year-old man from Woodbridge, Virginia. Woodbridge, Virginia. I don't know. I'm not sure this fits the. I'm not sure this makes sense to me. You know, like I don't want to be that guy, but I'm not sure this makes sense to me, considering what we're talking about here. Considering what we're speaking about here. Sheffy, thank you for the $5 super chat. Appreciate it. This doesn't make any sense to me whatsoever. Especially like with the stuff with the FBI. Hold on, guys. I want to plug this other microphone in. This is very weird. This is very, very weird. Can you guys hear me good? Can you guys hear me good? Hopefully you can hear me good. So this apparently, to my bottom left, is the January 6th pipe bomber. If you guys don't know the story or you're not familiar, there were devices that were planted outside the Democratic and Republican National Committee headquarters in D.C. the eve of January 6th. They were discovered the day of January 6th when they were storming the Capitol. And they were basically your basic homemade pipe bomb, 1x8. Those basic people make them in their home all the time when they're some kind of like domestic terrorist activity. But when they showed the footage, everyone thought it was Marjorie Taylor Greene because it was very the walk was very specific. Now they're saying it's a guy, a 30-year-old from Woodbridge, Virginia. I don't know. This is kind of weird. And then all of a sudden, right around when the Epstein stuff is coming out and all this stuff, I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm not sure I feel good about this, but who knows? Again, it's coming from an FBI and a Department of Justice that has worked to conceal other information from the public. So why would I trust this? Should I believe them on things like this and then not on the other stuff? Yeah, I heard they tried to blame Biden for this. Well, that doesn't really make sense considering Biden wasn't the president. He would have been the president-elect. This is literally the dumbest thing to blame Biden for. But I do think the timing is incredibly coincidental. So this is apparently what's circulating online. That this is the shooter. The person that was arrested, their name is Brian Jerome Cole Jr. Again, the picture has not been verified. That's just what's circulating online. But the name is Brian Jerome Cole Jr. That's who was arrested from Woodbridge, Virginia by the FBI today. I don't know. But if we're looking at this picture, can we just look at this picture really quick? I want to remove this picture because I want you guys to see this picture, okay? This picture right here, if we look at him standing next to his grandmother, he's supposedly on the right in this picture, I think. Okay? How tall is grandma? That is grandma. He's on the right. How tall is grandma? Doesn't even make sense. Like, how tall is this guy? And obviously the grandmother posted this picture. This is me and my two grandsons, Brian Jr. and Brandon Cole. Oh, wait a second. Hold on. No, Brian Jr. Is he on the left? No, it's the kid on the right. Yeah. Kid on the right. I don't know, dude. That's weird. That is apparently the person. That is apparently the person who did the January 6th pipe bombing. If you are a Trump supporter, call in 908-652-3703. I'd like to hear what you have to say. Beyond that, I don't know why we're still supporting Trump. It makes no sense to me how there's people out there that still support Donald Trump or support this administration or support what Hegseth has done, which is nothing more than murder. Let's be clear. We're talking about homicide in that case. We're talking about homicide. You can't take people's life because you've decided they broke the law and that the punishment is death. That's not how this works. But here we are again. The pro-life crowd. The pro-life crowd is defending bombing narco-trafficking vessels. Narco-trafficking vessels. Call in. Let's hear it. Guys, I would appreciate everybody hitting the thumbs up button. If you are a Trump supporter, call in 908-652-3703. Don't be afraid to say that you support Trump. Don't be afraid to admit that you still support Donald Trump. Come out and admit it. Stand 10 toes down and say, yes, I still support Donald Trump. But I think so many of them are embarrassed. Horrified military mom, I can imagine. There is no war on drugs. That was all bull crap. There is no war on drugs. That was all bull. That was all bull. The war on drugs has been an utter failure. And bombing vessels that are narco traffickers does nothing to solve that problem either, by the way. Absolutely nothing to solve that problem whatsoever. They just love blood and gore. And I honestly hope the videos of Hegseth saying we're bored because we don't have any vessels to bomb, I hope that's played in a courtroom. I hope that's played in a courtroom. What about when Bush the Elder invaded Panama? Dude, I don't support the Bushes. Why don't you call in right now? And by the way, can we be super clear on something? Don't start the whataboutism nonsense. Okay? Just because our government has committed atrocities in the past does not mean they are justified now. Does not mean they are justified now. Call in 908-652-3703. Hey, Joe Reed, why don't you call in? You said there's a war on drugs. Call in right now, Joe Reed. What are you waiting for? Pick up your phone and call in right now. 908-652-3703. What Donald Trump is doing is illegal. There's no point in bombing vessels. It does nothing to solve the problem long term. It does nothing to solve the problem long term. Furthermore, it's illegal. You can't just decide to take people's life. And let's be clear, Trump supporters don't care about that particular issue, and neither does Trump. There is no war on drugs. That's all bullshit that our government fed us. That's all that is, nothing more. Cassandra, thank you so much for the $4.99 super chat. Love listening on the ride home. Thank you, Cassandra. Glad you enjoy it. Try and do some rush hour type live streams when I can. No, you can't at all, William. There's something called right to life. And so under no circumstances can you just bomb people, right? Like you can't. Unless there's imminent threat. If there's imminent threat, you can. But only under imminent threat. This guy says, you're talking about people who are afraid you can't even show your face. My face is all over the internet, Joe Reed. Clearly, you've never seen me before. I'm on TikTok. I'm on YouTube. You can literally click my profile and see my face. My camera's just elevated above me. You can see my face all over my profile, Goofy. Why don't you call in and stop being afraid? 908-652-3703. What's the matter? Don't want to admit that you support this? What's the matter? Don't want to admit that you support this? Is it hard to admit you support this? You're not going to sell me that Donald Trump cares about this issue. Give me a break. Not Ginger. Call in. Did you support Biden when he was president? No, you didn't. So I don't think that's necessarily true. I think you should initially always root for the new president to succeed. I love that the Groypers on here get so triggered by. I know, I love it. I love it. It's hilarious. It's great. It's the best. This guy just called and hung up. Why'd you call and hang up, dude? Why'd you call and hang up? Glasses Babe, thank you for the $20 super chat. Thank you so much, Glasses Babe. The island that MAGA should be shipped to is Snake Island. Well, I'm making Shut Island, Glasses Babe. But thank you so much for the $20 super chat. Appreciate you. We do know they love islands. We do know that they love islands, right? They absolutely do love islands. This guy says, don't cash your stimulus checks. Dude, there's no stimulus checks coming. You guys can't be serious. You can't be serious. There's no stimulus checks coming, friend. If that was the case, the 2,000 on top of the 5,000, we'd be expecting 7,000. It's pretty easy to disagree with these boat strikes and how they handle the Epstein, among many other things, and still support Trump. Well, no, because I think you can't. And honestly, D, the problem is that when it comes to you would be under normal circumstances, you can disagree with certain aspects of a presidency and still support that candidate, right? But when it comes to Donald Trump, there are just issues you can't overlook. Like, you can't say, well, I disagree with him on the Epstein thing, but I really like, his foreign policy, for instance. Because if you disagree with him on the Epstein thing, then there's a clear line in the sand there. These are line in the sand issues we're talking about right now. If you're a Trump supporter, pick up your phone and call in 908-652-3703 and tell me, why do you support Donald Trump and these extrajudicial killings of potentially innocent people? I want people to understand something. These people who are engaging in this narco trafficking are potentially innocent. Something I tried to express to people this morning on TikTok is that cartels, right, and other criminal organizations often force people to engage in this particular category of crime under the threat of death. So they will get their parents, their grandparents, their mother, their father, their brother, their sister, right, their girlfriend, their wife, their husband, put them in a room and say, if you don't do what we tell you to do, we're going to unalive your family member. So they're doing it under the threat of death. So how do we know that they're not innocent without judicial oversight? That's why we provide judicial oversight. There's a reason for the right to life. You didn't call in. If you called in, I would have answered. You're dialing the wrong number. You're not calling it. Call in 908-652-3703. It's that easy there, buddy. It's that easy there, bud. Jeffrey's scared to call in. Jeffrey's scared to call in. That's all it is. He doesn't want to admit that he's a Trump supporter.
Call from
Jerry.
Yeah, are you a Trump supporter?
Absolutely.
Okay, so do you support Donald Trump bombing these vessels?
Yes, they're drug traffickers.
Okay, and how do you know that?
because PXF determined that they were drug traffickers, and the family came out and said that they were trafficking drugs.
Oh, that's not what the family said.
What did the family say? They said they were
fishermen.
They weren't cartel leaders, but they were trafficking drugs.
No, that's not what was said. That's not what was said at all.
Yes, it is. It's on AP News.
No.
I'm looking at it right now.
They said that the family came out and said that they're drug traffickers. What family member is this? You liar.
It's on AP News right now.
And what's the family name? What's the family member's name? Yeah, I didn't think so. I don't
know. It's some Mexican name.
There you go. There you go. So you're a liar. So can you tell me what your evidence is that they're engaging in narco trafficking?
Yeah, it says right here, the family of a Colombian man killed says they weren't cartel leaders, but they were trafficking drugs.
And what's their name? And what's his name?
Alejandro Carranza.
Yeah, you just made that up. You dishonest.
No, it's right here.
Tick.
I'm looking at it on Al Jazeera.
Now you're on Al Jazeera. Wait. You said it was on the AP.
Right to life and due process.
Yeah, violated right to life.
I'm looking at a different link.
Yeah, violated right to life. Exactly.
Yes.
So do you know where Mexico is?
You said no. His name is Alejandro.
Do you know where Mexico is?
South of the border.
So do you know what right to life is? Can you explain to me what right to life is? What is right to life?
Having the right to life. It's exactly what it means. It's exactly what it says.
Right. So if there's no imminent threat, is it in violation of international law to kill innocent people or just people in general?
Well, if they're coming here with drugs, it's better to eliminate them now than waiting or whatever.
I have no idea what they're bringing here. Even the administration doesn't know and has admitted that they use factors such as how many motors they're using, how big the boats are, how fast there's a bunch of different factors, none of which are proof that they're engaging in narco trafficking. So you're telling me the administration...
but they've already been investigating them.
So the administration can determine, right, that they're trafficking in drugs and then decide the penalty is death? Is that the law?
I'm sorry. Ask your question again. What is the law? Is what the law?
Spend less time trying to Google an answer and just answer. Does the government have the authority to decide the offense is severe enough they deserve to die with no imminent threat present?
Yeah, I guess.
So do you support that? Because they can. We're not saying they can't seize vessels suspected of trafficking drugs or stop people engaging in illegal activity under established laws and international agreements. What we're saying is they can't kill them. Okay, they can't kill them. And we have technology. We have electromagnetic technology now that can stop these vessels from miles away. So why are we killing them? And why was there a double tap to ensure there was no survivors?
Because Pete Hegseth is a sick fuck. What do you want me to do?
Oh, so you're admitting it then?
But it doesn't matter. They're drug traffickers.
Yes, it does matter. Yes, it does matter. The use of force, like bombing, for instance, is only justified in specific legal contexts. You can't just decide this person should die, right? If there's an urgent circumstance, then yes. But if there's no if there's no chance for interdiction,
if the government says, okay, well, we're going to decide that it is urgent under our new terms or whatever, and they do whatever they're going to do, then who decides that?
So watch. Did they attempt
who
any
decides, other? Okay, let's do it.
Well, I'm going to answer your question. Let me answer. Did they make any attempt to stop them?
I don't know that.
Did they make any attempt to stop them? Yes. Wait. Yes, we do know that. They admitted that.
I don't know that.
No,
I don't know.
We know that, though. He's already said that. They're not making any attempts to try and stop them. Hegseth just recently said we're getting bored because we can't find vessels to bomb. They're not trying to stop them in any other way. You understand?
Okay.
So if you're supporting this, you're supporting him breaking the law again. And shock that a person already convicted of felonies, a convicted felon would break the law, which is why we told you not to vote for him. We told you not to vote for him, but you did.
Are you saying that Trump ordered this?
This is absolutely under the authority of Donald Trump. This is absolutely Donald Trump is directly, absolutely responsible. He's the president of the United States. Pete Hegseth should be in prison immediately. And Trump supports it, so yeah, he's involved.
I don't think it's a war crime. I really don't. They're drug traffickers, dude.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
I've explained this multiple times. I've literally told you specifically what the law is, and you're still not accepting it. I don't know what more I could possibly tell you. You cannot if there's no imminent threat.
I don't agree with the law.
Okay, so no one's disputing that they can stop them, but using lethal force is only permitted in self-defense or when it's strictly necessary to prevent imminent harm. I believe destruction of evidence as well. Destruction of evidence is one too, but imminent harm. So you have to comply with the principles of necessity, and they're not doing that. They're not complying with the principles of necessity. They're doing what they feel like, because they've decided they deserve to die. And if that's the case, what's the limit? Right? So here, let's just talk about what this could result in. What happens if the administration decides, well, you know what? We feel the same way about people who have differing political ideology. Maybe they decide that, they refer to people who oppose the administration as evil communists. What if they decide evil communists deserve the same punishment? See, this is why it's important, right, that we follow the rules, that we follow the law. You understand? But I'm giving you specific international law, and he should be held accountable for it, for violations of right to life and other human rights.
Can I ask you something?
Go ahead.
I had this discussion with my son, and he's on the left, and he tells me, well, if you support killing these drug traffickers, these drug dealers, and stuff like that, aren't you communist? Because that's what communist China does, that they kill drug dealers and drug traffickers. And he says, how can you be MAGA and hate communism but support communism at the same time? And I didn't know how to answer him, because is that what communist China does?
Communism is an economic system. So I don't know. That doesn't even make any sense. I don't know what you're talking about. So
no, he says
that's good.
That communists kill drug dealers, and so.
Huh? What are you talking about? Communists kill drug dealers?
Well, he says that communist China, they decide.
Do you want my honest advice? Do you want my honest advice? You should stop talking politics with your son altogether, just so he can have a chance.
What do you mean?
Yeah, I think that you should stop discussing politics with your son entirely, so that way he can have a chance. Okay.
A chance to what?
To make it in life and not be a troglodyte.
Well, I was just asking. He says that
I know your son
China,
is lost too.
Use
You're both
capital
lost.
punishment for drug dealers.
You're both lost and have no clue what you're talking about. Why would an economic system come into that conversation? It doesn't make any sense. The question makes no sense. Literally none at all. Literally none at all.
That China uses capital punishment.
The United States uses capital punishment.
Drug traffickers.
The United States uses capital punishment. What's your point?
I don't know. That's just what he told me.
What time did you get up this morning?
I just woke up.
Okay. Go back to bed. If you are a Trump supporter, call in 908-652-3703. 908-652-3703. We got a lot of triggered Trump supporters in the chat, and it's wonderful. Guys, listen, this guy's really pissed off about people sending me super chats, so I just wanted to let you guys know. This guy's really mad that people are sending me super chats, so I wouldn't want you guys... I wouldn't want you guys to send me super chats because this guy's really mad about it. So don't upset this guy by sending super chats. Don't upset this guy by sending me super chats. Laura, thank you so much for the $5 super chat. Why don't they just understand that murder is wrong? Where'd that guy go? Did he hang up? Oh, he hung up. Call back in, dude. Why'd you hang up? Laura, thank you. Why don't they understand that murder is wrong? Because they're the pro-life crowd. What do you mean? They're the pro-life crowd. They're the pro-life crowd, dude. The pro-life crowd. That's why. They are the pro-life crowd. Somebody said, Trump worse than Brandon. The chat gets triggered easily. Yeah, they do. It's great. All right, we got
Call from
Trump supporter.
What's up, man? What's your first name?
You can call me Trump.
No, I'm not calling you Trump.
I'm a Trump supporter, and those are fucking terrorists. We're killing terrorists.
Amy and Dave.
They're labeled as terrorists. The cartel members are labeled as terrorists.
Amy and Dave, thank you for the super chat.
They're responsible for killing millions of Americans for the past 40 years.
So let's talk about this a little bit, right?
What?
Let's talk about this because it's very important to understand, right? So you're actually walking face first into the point when you acknowledge that the war on drugs has been an utter failure, that it is not productive to apply a military or criminal solution to a healthcare issue.
Because the government profits off from drugs as well. Trump's coming in.
Sir, you got to let me respond.
Yeah, go ahead, man. Okay. Go ahead.
So very simply put, what you're admitting, I just want you to listen to me, outside of the context of Trump, just our government in general. The war on drugs has been an utter failure, okay? And our government continuously tries to apply criminal and military solutions to a healthcare problem. I look at this like supply and demand, okay? Demand is what upholds the market, right? People actively suffering from substance use disorder, which is a healthcare issue with genetic predisposition, okay? Environmental factors too, but genetic predisposition, right? And instead of treat by making sure that healthcare is accessible and affordable to people who need it, by implementing harm reduction strategies in cities that are overwhelmed by this particular issue, our government keeps applying criminal deterrence theory to the supply portion, right? The people trafficking in the drug. And while I'm not opposed to people who traffic in the substances being punished responsibly, because I agree they are wrong and they are taking advantage of people, right? And they should be punished for that. I don't think it's a solution long term. So outside of him just breaking the law, it doesn't work. You're talking about it like
it's
suddenly
a solution
now.
Because you're going to deter and scare the enemy.
You're talking it like, no, you're again. Oh, so hold on one second. Amanda K, thank you so much for the $4.99 super chat. I really appreciate it.
Terrorist, right?
Let me explain
the
something.
Cartels are terrorists.
You just said it's going to deter people, right? So you're talking about deterrence theory. Do you know much about deterrence theory?
That's what our military does.
No.
It's an offensive military to deter the enemies from fucking with us.
No. So what is deterrence theory as a theory? Do you know what it is?
Yes.
Okay, what is it?
Elaborate it.
Elaborate it? Okay.
Tell your audience.
Sure, I'll elaborate on it. Sure. So deterrence theory is the theory our government uses to deter people from committing crime. Okay? Swiftness, severity, and certainty. That harsh, swift, severe criminal punishment will deter people from committing crimes in the future. Example, someone commits homicide, for instance, right? You give them severe criminal punishment and it will deter the next person who thinks about committing homicide from committing homicide. We know, just generally speaking, deterrence theory is ineffective. We know that regardless of what category of crime we're talking about specifically, it's entirely ineffective because people still commit every category of crime and they're not deterred regardless of said punishment, right? Even the worst of the worst, even crimes, it doesn't.
It minimizes.
But let me finish. So that's just in terms of regular crime. In the case of narco trafficking, right, specifically, that is a crime. That is a market that is upheld by people suffering from a healthcare issue with genetic predisposition. This is an issue of people upholding the market who are suffering from lack of healthcare. So why are we not treating the demand portion, the people suffering from the disease that upholds the market, and constantly trying to attack the supply? When the incentive is there, right? When the incentive is the way that it is, people will always engage in that category of crime. There's such incentive there for people to engage in this category of crime. You understand? Like, there's a reason, even if we're not talking about death, okay? Let's just look at just normal punishments outside of them breaking the law. You're talking about life in prison. These people are aware of those consequences. Okay? And then I just want to add additionally, right, outside
of... And they have gotten away with them for years.
But they haven't gotten away with them.
A lot of these traffickers gotten away with it. They drive halfway. They drop the drugs in the ocean. They have other people come and pick them up.
It's not that they're getting away with it.
It's been happening for too many years. These are also terrorists. These people cut heads off. They hang people from highways. These are evil cartels.
Sheffy,
they are listed as terrorists, and we kill terrorists. We don't negotiate with them.
Okay, so kill them. Hold on one second. Sheffy, thank you for the $10 super chat. MAGA, do you really think that no one has thought of this before? Do you think you're the first one that comes up using violence to combat drugs? Exactly. So that's why I'm saying, right, let's just talk about, this guy's didn't listen to a word I said about like supply and demand. Dude, if you think Trump is the first person to like go after people trafficking drugs, that's what the war on drugs is built on. But let me explain this maybe in a different way.
Well,
maybe this. Hold on. Maybe this will get through to you. Hold on. Maybe this part will get through to you better. Okay. Maybe you'll understand this better. Okay. I want you to listen. Do you know that the people actually engaging in the trafficking of those substances are largely not the criminals themselves? That there are people who do this under the threat of death. There are people, they will grab their family members, put them in a room and say, hey, we're going to unalive your mother unless you do this. The people who you're talking about, the evil ones.
Propaganda. They do it for money.
Excuse me. You're wrong. You are wrong. Okay?
You're wrong.
You're wrong. I'm not.
They do it for money. A lot of them are doing it for money.
Oh my God, guy. You don't know what you're talking about. You don't know what you're talking about.
I don't think you do. I think you watch too many fucking movies, and you need to wake up to reality. These are fucking terrorists.
You think suddenly bombing people is going to fix the war on drugs? Yeah, that's a good idea, genius.
No.
They haven't done this before,
kill the terrorists
genius.
That are bringing fentanyl into our country, which is killing innocent Americans.
Yeah. Why don't you try something different? And
thankfully, we have a president boss to go kill these motherfuckers.
Oh, wow.
We have tried the law your way for too many years, and it's not working. Now it's time to do something better. Thankfully, we got Trump in office, who cares about Americans, unlike Democrats. Democrats will claim, yeah, we'll pass a bill to fight crime. They're only profiting. They want that crime to continue. Trump doesn't.
I know you think it, but the problem is you're just not educated at all on this particular topic. You thought you didn't know what deterrence theory was, and then you said it was effective.
No, you think you are.
There's repeated.
You sit there and read your screen.
I'm not reading.
That's all you do. You read and repeat. You ain't. Okay. You're not spitting any facts.
Listen. Goodbye.
It's all propaganda bullshit.
I hate to say this. You're not smart.
Kill the terrorists, you fucking loser.
You're not smart enough to have this conversation. Goodbye. You're not smart enough. Guy thinks I'm reading from a script. Oh, God, you Trump supporters are just such clowns. Why don't you call in Money Mike's Lick? Money Mike. Bro, you're an adult. Stop calling yourself Money Mike. Stop calling yourself Money Mike. All right? You outgrew that nickname a long time ago. So I'm going to explain this again, since there's just way too many people in here that are on Trump supporters that don't know what the fuck they're talking about, right? Of course he is, Carly. Of course he is. Thank you for being a member for 9 months, Carly. Let me explain this again for Trump supporters so they can maybe understand. The war on drugs has been an utter failure. We have used deterrence theory as its solution for years, for decades. It has not gotten better. Now you're telling me it's a major problem because there's a drug that increases the rate of overdose death, right? The problem was here before fentanyl, okay? So instead of applying more of the same solution, which is deterrence theory, criminal or military, we're talking about treating what upholds the market, and that is people who are suffering from substance use disorder. Substance use disorder is a disease with genetic predisposition, right? People inherit it, right? We have people physically dependent on substances. They need them like they need food and water. They need health care, no different than someone with diabetes. But part of the problem is that it's so stigmatized, right, by the American government that you look at it as a crime, a criminal issue, instead of a health care issue. It's a health care issue. These people need health care. They do not need criminal punishment. They need access to health care. Attack the demand portion of the issue and stop trying to attack the supply. Treat the demand, and there won't be a need for a supply. It's basic economics. Supply meets demand. If there's no demand for a product, there won't be a supply. As long as there's a demand for a product, supply meets demand. It's that simple. Number 2, it is illegal what he's doing. You don't get to decide without imminent threat that people deserve to die. That's just not the way this works. Give me 1 second, everybody. I have to take a phone call. 1 second. Explain something to you guys that's funny really quick. Donald Trump, right? Let's just talk about this for a second. Somebody block the gnome from the live, please. Do I have mods in here? Block the gnome guy. Get him out of here. Goodbye, gnome. You're gone. Have a good day. Don't come back, Muppet. So let's go over this for a second. That Trump supporter just told you that deterrence theory is effective. It minimizes the amount of people who commit the crime, right? Then why is Donald Trump sending the National Guard into our cities? If deterrence theory is so effective, then why are you guys complaining crime is out of control? I thought you guys said crime was out of control. If crime is out of control, then deterrence theory is not effective. You're not addressing the root causes of these issues. You're not addressing the root causes of these issues. How can you be this simple? Like, seriously, think about how simple. You're actively telling me deterrence theory is an effective strategy to deter people from committing crime, and simultaneously telling me, right? Simultaneously telling me crime is out of control. Think about that for a second, folks. Think about it. It's a fucking joke. It's one gigantic contradiction. No, it can't have it both ways. No, you can't. If you're a Trump supporter, call in. Call in 908-652-3703.
Call from.
Are you a Trump supporter? Are you a Trump supporter? Okay, move it to the next person. Are you a Trump supporter?
Eddie?
Eddie, are you a Trump supporter?
I'm not. I just had a quick question.
All right, Eddie, I'm looking for Trump supporters. Who did you vote for?
I voted for Harris.
Okay.
I'm not.
All right, I am looking for Trump supporters, Eddie. 412, are you there? If you're a Trump supporter, call in 90. So many Trump supporters yapping, but yet not calling in.
Call from.
DK Music Production.
Are you a Trump supporter?
Yes, I am.
Okay, and what's your name?
Douglas.
Douglas. Do you agree with what my statements have been so far on these vessels, the strategy by the United States government?
No, I don't. I think without deterrence theory, there'd be a lot more murder because more people could get away with it.
Deterrence theory is not specific to murder. Okay, it's the theory our government uses
crime
for
in
all.
general. If we didn't have.
So then, why are we sending the
military?
military?
More people would be doing the crime.
So you understand, policing, right, is a form of deterrence theory, right? Like that's a part of deterrence theory is policing. If deterrence theory is effective, then why? Can I please finish? Don't interrupt me, okay? If deterrence theory is effective, why are we now calling in the military to fix the problem? If deterrence theory is effective, why is it that crime is out of control according to Republicans?
Can I speak now?
Yeah.
Because military is stronger than the police. Police have lots of laws they have to abide by.
What you're saying
is,
is,
gets in there, the crime goes away.
So what you're saying is, deterrence theory works. We just need more deterrence theory. That's what you're saying. You realize that, right?
Pretty much, that's what we do need. Stronger.
Oh my God! So this guest is literally arguing, guys, that deterrence theory works. We just need more of it. That's why it's not working. That's his argument.
You saying if we didn't have it, there would be less murders?
That's not the point. I'm not saying it doesn't deter some people. It's not effective as an
exactly what you're saying.
No, what I'm saying is it's not effective as an overall solution to crime. Okay, and if you're going to use it, it needs to be coupled
some
with.
People are going to do crime.
Can
no
I
matter
finish
what.
talking? If you're going to use deterrence theory, it needs to be coupled with many other things, such as harm reduction strategy, crime, and community policing systems. You can't singularly solve the issue of crime with deterrence theory, which is what our government is actively doing. You're simply arguing, right, that you can solve crime with deterrence theory, and then you're saying deterrence theory is not effective, and then you're saying, well, we need more deterrence theory. That's stupid. You understand? That is stupid.
I'm not saying that's all that we need. I'm not saying that's all we need.
But why is Donald Trump using the
more stuff into
military?
it to
Then
make it
why isn't
stronger.
Donald Trump advocating for community policing systems and advocating against people that do, and instead using the military? Why is Donald Trump using the military then as the solution to crime being out of control in D.C. per se?
Because they're a stronger force and they got less laws they have to abide by.
But I thought you just said he's on board with these other elements.
He is.
But he's not. Okay, tell me where Donald Trump has advocated for community policing strategies, harm reduction strategies, or addressing the root causes of.
He's wanted more policing out there.
That is deterrence theory. That's deterrence theory. You're saying more policing. That's deterrence theory. Oh my God.
More police going out.
That is deterrence theory. That is, are you listening?
It is not.
That is deterrence theory. You're advocating for more police. That's more deterrence theory.
It is not.
Oh my God. So more police isn't more deterrence theory.
Police doesn't mean deterrence theory.
Yes, it is. Policing is a form of deterrence theory. Yes, it is. When people see police, they're supposedly less likely to commit crime.
It's not completely it. It's a community. They're for the community.
Community policing is not.
Community
policing is allowing the police to address crime while having mental health professionals, for instance, address nonviolent issues. So you don't need more police. It's literally the opposite. It's a preventative measure to increasing that. Literally what it is.
More police would help commit less crime as well.
No, it doesn't. What the issue is that
I disagree.
I'll explain it to you. Let me explain it to you. 210 Rain, Christopher, thank you so much for the 1999 super chat. Let's go. Maybe we just need our own live in thumb that will burp in our faces. And I'm not even reading. I don't even know what Christopher's saying there. Christopher's saying something weird. Christopher, thank you for the super chat. I don't even know what's going on there, dude. But let me explain it, okay? You're saying that more police solve crime, right? In the New York City mayoral race, right? One of the topics.
That's what Trump is putting out.
Okay, and I'm going to explain to you why that's what community policing is. In the New York mayoral race, one of the issues they were discussing is whether or not to add 7,000 more police officers. Okay? Would it be effective to add 7,000 more police officers? Mamdani, right? Zoran Mamdani, I'm sure you're familiar with the fear-mongering about Mamdani. I'm sure you don't like him and don't know why. He was advocating for community policing. He's an advocate of community policing, allowing the police that we have already to address crime while mental health professionals, right, and others address nonviolent mental health issues. So you can free police up to actually focus on crime and only crime without adding more police. You understand? But one of the primary let me finish. One of the primary elements of community policing is addressing the root cause of crime, which is houselessness, mental health issues. That's what we're talking about here. Addressing the root causes of crime is not deterrence theory.
Just more police would stop less crime. I'm not saying that I agree with the deterrence theory 100%, but I believe it does help a huge amount because less people do less crime because of the punishments.
Really, they do? What are you citing?
Life in general, just watching news, TV, anything.
Well, give me a legitimate source. News TV is not a source. Give me like a legitimate source, right? Because what I'm going to tell you is they don't.
Well, I don't really watch a lot of it. Just in court systems alone, that less people want to commit the crime because they don't want to go do the time.
Why are our prisons over capacity, including in New York City? Rikers Island is literally 15. It's way over capacity. 15% over capacity.
It's just a money system. They arrest a lot of people they shouldn't arrest.
So wait, now they're over arresting. Are you
jail.
admitting a consequence of more over policing?
No, I'm admitting that the system is rigged.
So wait, you just said they'll be able to arrest more people. Our prisons are over capacity. Do you know we lead the world in people in prison, in imprisoned population?
Yeah, I know that.
Okay, so clearly it's not working. And do you think police solve crimes? Law enforcement clears less than 30% of reported violent crimes.
Well, I think it's a little higher than that, but
no, it's not. No, homicide's like 50%.
It's hard to get every criminal.
It's hard to get every criminal. Why?
It's harder to get every criminal that's out there.
What do you mean? Why?
Because there's not enough police out there to catch them.
But why are there so many criminals out there? I thought you said deterrence theory was effective. Hold on. You just said deterrence theory was effective in scaring people. Can you stop interrupting me? Stop interrupting me. This is a learning moment for you. You just said deterrence theory is effective in deterring people. Well, it might be if you let it be. But this is why you're going to remain this way if you don't stop and listen. You just said you're arguing that deterrence theory is effective in deterring people from committing crime. Now you're arguing they can't catch all the criminals because there's so many of them in a country that leads the world in prison population. Do you see how that doesn't make sense?
It's not stopping a huge amount of people from doing the crimes.
Wait, say that again?
I know there's a lot of people be out raping and killing. There'd be a lot of people out there raping and killing if they knew there weren't no consequences for it.
I know that's what you think, but really it's about addressing the root causes of these issues, right?
No, it's not what I think. It's a fact.
No, it's not. It's not effective. We're not saying
it
doesn't.
You're going to tell me that's not
what
true?
I'm saying is it doesn't deter. It doesn't deter an effective amount of crime. It only works if coupled with a number of other things, like I've already addressed for you. What you're arguing is, oh, well, maybe there's a little bit less people that will commit this category of crime because they'll go to prison for it. Sure. But not many. You just admitted we're overpopulated. Our prisons are overpopulated. And there's so many criminals, the police can't even keep up with them, even though we keep adding more and more police. You're literally proving to me, right, that swift, severe, harsh criminal punishment isn't effective as a singular solution to deterring people from committing crime.
It's not completely effective, but it does affect the people.
Wait. Now you're moving the goalposts. So now if it deters a couple people here and there, then it's an effective solution. That's not what I consider an effective solution, which is why I'm up here advocating for alternative strategies coupled with, I'm not saying people shouldn't go to prison. I'm not saying people shouldn't be punished. What I'm saying as a singular solution, it is entirely ineffective. Hey, AG, remember when you tried to debate and then we realized you were stupid and you couldn't? All right, I'm going to talk to you later, dude. Take care.
All right.
All right, let's see if we can get another Trump supporter in here. AG, remember when you were misspelling words in the chat and everyone was laughing? I felt really sorry for you that day. I remember that. I remember when you couldn't tell the difference between your and your. Guys, AG is really mad that you're sending me super chats. So if you guys could complete the super chat goal on behalf of AG, I would appreciate it. He's super triggered and it's funny as hell.
Call from.
I love that he's so triggered. What's your first name?
First name?
Yeah.
Pat.
Pat, what's going on, buddy? Are you a Trump supporter? Patrick?
Yeah, I am.
Okay, what do you think about what I've said so far? Do you agree with me? Disagree with me?
I think that you're kind of all over the map.
Really,
I'm kind of wondering what specific law are you... Well, first off, the deterrence theory that you're describing, you said that deterrence theory is policing. You kind of have it backwards. Deterrence theory is a form of policing, but there's many other forms.
That's what I said.
There's many other forms.
Wait. That's literally what I said.
You said that deterrence theory is policing.
No, that's not
the
what I
other way
said.
around.
That's
theory
not
is a
what I
form of
said.
policing.
That's not what I
There's other
said.
forms as well.
I said it's a
That's what
form of...
we-
Guy, you're not going to interrupt me and tell me what I said. There's people in here that have watched me debate this for years. Deterrence theory is the theory our government uses to deter people from committing crime. What I said is policing is a form of deterrence theory. Deterrence theory itself is swiftness, severity, and certainty. That swift, harsh criminal punishment will deter people from committing crime. That's quite literally what I said. Don't tell me what the fuck I said, you clown. Marianne Chappie, thank you so much for the $1.99. Charcity, thank you for the $5. Sheffy, thank you for the $5. Alicia, thank you for the $5. Appreciate it so much. Yeah, you're not going to come up and tell me what the fuck I said.
Call from.
What's up? Are you a Trump supporter?
You could say so.
What do you mean I could say so? You either voted for him or you didn't. Did you vote for him?
Well, I'm a supporter, but I reside in Canada. I just have a little bit of an outsider's perspective. You want to hear it? I like what you have to say, but yeah.
I appreciate you, buddy, but unfortunately, I'm trying to get Trump supporters that live in the United States right now. If you are a Trump supporter, call in 908-652-3703. Would appreciate it. No, I think that guy was probably going to say that it looks like absolute chaos in here, but honestly, I hear that so much, I'm just, I don't even know what to say anymore. Like, I hear it so much, it just depresses me more, and I don't want to even hear it anymore. If you are a Trump supporter, call in. That's what you need to be doing. Yeah, are you a Trump supporter? Jeffrey, what's going on? Did you vote for Trump? Hey, Charcity, thank you so much for the $5. You guys are pissing AG off right now. He really didn't want. He's so mad. AG has been watching. Every time I go live, this AG guy's in the chat watching, crying about super chats. Adam's getting super chats. I don't know what to do about this. I'm going to do something about it. What's up, man? You said you're a Trump supporter. You voted for him?
Yeah, I voted for Trump.
All right. What do you think about Trump bombing these vessels and whether or not we should be doing that?
In Venezuela?
Yes, Venezuela, yes.
In Venezuela, right?
Venezuela, yes.
Yeah. So I think that Trump has problems with Venezuela because they've always been politically unaligned with us. Like, I always knew, like, if I ever, like, committed a murder and I had to flee to a country, it would be Venezuela because I know that they don't export their criminals to the United States.
Yeah, Venezuela.
So we've always had a shaky relationship with them. And then geographically, with how big Venezuela is, with the close proximity to America, it is an issue that we have problems with them.
So I would just ask you then, what do you think the incentive would be to invade a country like Venezuela? Like, what's the incentive?
The incentive is that, like, for example, like BRICS, like there are other countries going up against us.
No,
if Venezuela decided to also
no.
kind of align with them, and
Yes,
geographically,
that's
it would
not
be
why.
a problem for us.
No. So, yes, they are backed by both Russia and China. That's good. I'm glad you know that. But what specifically makes it enticing? Well, I'm just going to answer the question.
Just the fact that.
Go ahead.
What makes it enticing of what? What do you mean?
How is it? What's enticing about Venezuela? Why would someone want to invade Venezuela?
Why we want to? I think they got oil, right? They got loads of oil.
They have the world's largest available oil reserve, known available oil reserve. They are extremely mineral rich. So, claiming that that they're trafficking substances and drugs into the United States, right, could be used as a justification for an invasion, right? And what I'm asking you is to look beyond what your government is telling you. Your government is telling you that they're a direct threat to your country. We've been told this before. It's why we invaded Iraq, right? Weapons of mass destruction, connections to 9/11. Neither of those things were true. We know what invading Iraq was about, right? Now we know the truth. They're asking you to buy that again. And I'm asking you to think critically. And if they are engaging in narco trafficking, then let's talk about advocating for judicial oversight. But just killing them, and now we're hearing a double tap strike to ensure there's no survivors? I don't know. That smells fishy to me. And I'm concerned that they didn't want those people speaking because they may not have been engaging in that category of crime. I think that we need to push our government to provide judicial oversight so we, the American people, can get the truth. That's all.
And I will agree with you on that point. I do believe that, like, when they did do the strike on the boat, what I would have liked to see is them release the names and photos of everyone killed on the boat, because I think that provides more clarity. I would say that is what they did wrong in the bombing in the international waters thing. But I agree with the strike if they were running drugs.
Would you agree with a double tap strike to make sure that there were no survivors, though?
Yes, because the order given was to
kill them all.
Destroy the boat. Yeah, the order was to destroy the boat.
No, it wasn't. The order was to kill them all. Why would you strike
the order was
twice?
To kill them all.
Yeah, but if the order's not to kill the
because
boats,
they weren't all dead.
Right, that's against the law. So I hope people don't confuse.
To kill drug runners?
It is. Yes,
wait. It's against the law to kill drug runners?
It's against the law. It's against international law to kill anyone, right? You can't just kill people, right? Why are we killing people when we have electromagnetic, like, military technology that can stop vessels from miles away? Okay, it violates the respect of right to life. Okay, it's only permitted.
What
it's
if
only
we start getting into a firefight?
Because
no, I get what you're saying.
I'll explain it to you, right? So when we're talking, let me explain it to you. I'm trying to explain it to you. So
I like your tactical information. I like that. That seems pretty cool.
Sure. So let me just explain it to you. Okay. So use of force in particular, right? Like bombing, like what they're doing, that's only permitted in self-defense or under strictly necessary purposes, such as imminent harm. Imminent harm. So you can't just
consider drugs intimate. You don't consider drugs an immediate harm?
I haven't seen proof of drugs.
You consider fentanyl? Do you know how much
Yes,
do you know how little fentanyl it can take to kill a lot of people?
Yes, I'm very aware. Judy, thank you so much for becoming a tadpole.
Sneak that into the food supply.
So why are we not stopping them with our military technology? And furthermore, let me be clear on something, right?
No, I agree.
You got to let me finish when I'm speaking.
But then if they're drug runners and they got AK,
excessive use of force, number one. You just said you supported the double tap. There were survivors floating.
Is it excessive if they got AK-47s?
They were in the water. AK-47s. They're in the water. Their vessel was blown up already.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they're no threat to you.
Yeah. I know. No, especially in a firefight, right?
There was no firefight.
You don't want to be trying to shoot at somebody that knows they're going to die in 15 minutes.
But there was no firefight.
You don't want to be in a firefight with somebody like that.
There was no firefight.
If they got a pistol and you have a rifle and they know that they're going to die in 15 minutes, you don't want to get into a firefight with them.
So you're saying
because they could have been hurt, but they could have been mortally wounded. But there's people that even for 10 seconds, you can be mortally wounded, but then you can still run around or do something crazy. So it's I understand why they wouldn't take a chance until all targets were eliminated.
They're in the water, hanging on for their life.
And AK-47 shooting water just fine.
So you think they're floating in the water, hanging on to objects to stay afloat? They're going to reach. They're going to reach for a float. Hold on. Let's break this down. Stop talking for a second. So what you're saying is let's just lay this out for everybody. So what this guy is saying, they're float. Stop talking for a second. Are you capable of doing that?
No, I'm listening. I'm just
Shut
laughing.
up.
No, I'm listening. I'm listening to you.
So this guy's
Okay.
saying that they're floating in the water holding on to an object, and they're going to reach for a floating AK-47, pick it up, and start firing it. Are you serious? Are you serious? And by the way,
That's what I would do.
So is
That's
that
what
do you,
I would do.
Do you think that
If I
justifies
got bombed
imminent
by
threat?
a boat and I see another boat of people that's coming to kill me, I'm grabbing what we got, brother. Like I'm making my stand, brother. Like you just gonna go out like that? You just gonna go out surrender?
Can we just stick to the facts? Does that justify imminent threat? Yes or no? The idea that they could grab an AK-47.
Yes, you just bombed their boat.
Oh my God. So because you attacked them now, the imminent threat is, of course, a common sense person would retaliate. This is just so ridiculously stupid. I can't even. Listen, have a good day, my guy. Jesus Christ almighty. Holy smokes. Holy smokes, dude. That guy plays way too much Battlefield. That guy plays way too much Battlefield. Yeah, no one laughed the first time, Cat. No one laughed the first time. Good try, though. Hopefully you're not a comedian. Yeah, absolutely, they could be fishermen. We have no idea what they are. We have absolutely no clue.
Call from
Rizzo.
Rizzo, are you a Trump supporter, Rizzo?
Yeah, I'm a Trump supporter.
Okay, and how old are you, Rizzo?
25.
Okay. What year were you born?
I was born in 2001.
No, you weren't.
call from
Patrick.
What's up, man? How old are you?
How old am I?
Yeah, how old are you?
23.
And did you vote for Trump? And what's your first name?
I voted for Trump. My name's Pat, and I'm 23.
Okay. At least there was no hesitation. So what do you think about what I've said so far?
I think that I'm kind of wondering, what law are you stating? Are you stating international UN law or law of land warfare, or I'm kind of lost with.
There's a number of different laws, technically speaking. Even our laws here were so
Can
yeah.
you give us specific?
Right to life specifically.
But what about
under international law, particularly the United Nations Convention on Law of the Sea?
Proportionality has nothing to do.
Yes, it does. What are you talking about?
It's proportion.
Is it nations have the right to interdict and seize vessels suspected of drug trafficking on the high seas, but only under specific conditions, none of which approve using lethal force.
But when
lethal force is only
it's been state.
Lethal force is only permitted when strictly necessary, right? Strictly necessary, including imminent harm, which they're using as a justification.
Doesn't say anything in that. Can I speak?
Yeah, I wasn't done speaking.
You're going to speak over me.
No, I wasn't done talking.
Okay, go ahead. Finish speaking.
Oh, shut the fuck up, dude. Like, I wasn't done speaking. What do you mean? What the fuck? You're not going to talk to me that way. Fuck out of here. If you're a Trump support, 523-703 908-652-3703. No, they won't. But can I speak? I wasn't finished speaking. You asked me. JR says, who enforces international law? Lack of enforcement mechanism does not justify breaking laws, right? Just because there's lack of enforcement mechanism. I could argue the same thing in Section 3 of the 14th Amendment. Lack of enforcement mechanism. Donald Trump's not constitutionally eligible, right? Like, we have lack of enforcement mechanism for a million things in the world. Sergeant, shut up. You're not a sergeant except on your Call of Duty game. Okay? You're not a sergeant except on your Call of Duty game. That's the only time you're a sergeant.
call from
Pat, are you a Trump supporter?
Yes.
Okay, Pat, what do you think about what I've said so far?
I think that you're partially right, but partially wrong as well.
Okay, what part am I wrong on?
I think you're looking at this at more of a micro level. Do you agree or disagree that this is state fact is state sponsored from the other nations.
I don't know. What's the relevance to the question?
Okay. Oh, there's a huge relevance because it has to do with what the laws are, land warfare in the UN.
It doesn't allow them.
Proportionality.
I've already. This is the same guy who called before. I've already explained to you, right? If you interdicting vessels suspected of drug trafficking, right, is permitted, right, is permitted. Not killing them. Not killing.
I'm listening.
You're not killing them.
When it is state sponsored,
It's,
you do understand
it's
that it's
unlawful use of force.
But you do understand when it's state sponsored, it's a completely different. You do understand that when it's state sponsored, it's a completely different ballgame, though, right?
What you're arguing is, will there be any kind of enforcement of said law, right? I'm telling you that it's against the law. It is against the law. That's on the books.
Can you specifically cite what law?
I already did. I already told you, and it violates. I already did. I already specifically explained.
What CFR?
Wait, no, I don't. I'm not looking that up right now. I told you. You did. Are you saying I'm incorrect?
Because there isn't one.
Oh my God! There's no law.
There isn't one.
And by the way, it also violates domestic law. Also, just so you know.
Can you describe for me what posse comitatus is then?
Oh God, this guy is just a fucking idiot. This guy is he just doesn't want to have a legitimate conversation. He just wants to be a fucking clown. You're a clown. And yes, the military cannot be used in a policing capacity. Is that why you support the National Guard in our cities? You clown. What a little goober. If you're a Trump supporter, call in 908-652-3703. Don't be disingenuous. Don't be disingenuous. This person in chat just wrote, does the host know about the ICC? What a fucking clown. What an absolute clown. They don't even know the difference between a political system and an economic system. Yeah, well, they're stupid. That's why. What do you expect? They're fucking stupid. What do you expect? We should have the National Guard in these cities sooner. Really, Wolf? Why don't you call in and tell me why? Why don't you call in and tell me why, Wolf? Why don't you call in and tell me why? The phone's on. You can call in right now. The phone's on. You can call in right now. Call in. If you're calling in, it's not working. It's your phone, not mine. Hey, Eli, what's the enforcement mechanism for Vladimir Putin?
Damien?
What's the enforcement mechanism for Vladimir Putin, who's committed war crimes by deporting Ukrainian children to Russian-occupied territories? What's the enforcement mechanism going to be for him, you fucking idiot? What's your first name, dude?
Damien.
Damien, how old are you?
I'm 21.
Okay, you're 21, and why did you support, or what do you think about Trump bombing these vessels? What do you think about the military in the streets? Whatever you want to talk about.
Well, I don't know, man. Like, I'm in New Mexico, and there's a lot of drug people. Like there's a lot of like people that are homeless, and they're doing the same thing here that they're doing everywhere else. They're I don't know, like the Democrats, they don't really like solve these problems. They just do nothing. And Republicans are actually like trying to clean up the streets and the same thing that they're doing worldwide, like with these boats is the same thing that they're doing with these homeless people, just like taking them out.
What? You want to unalive homeless people? What are you asking? Now, guys,
I'm just
Eli
saying,
in
like,
chat is going, the ICC is going to pursue Putin. Good luck with that, Eli. Fucking clown. They're talking about granting mass
it's
amnesty.
the same logic.
Can you stop talking? Eli, I just want to dunk on you real quick. They're literally talking about mass amnesty as a part of the peace deal because they can't do shit, you idiot. You don't know what you're quietly and learn. Learn and sit quietly. So are you saying unaliving homeless people? What are you saying specifically? There's a lot of people that use drugs in the area that you're in.
No, I was just saying, like, the same. Yeah, so, like, it's the same logic. Like, the way that they're handling things at a local level is the same way that they're handling things, like, overseas. So, like, they use deterrence theory, like here, policing the streets. You got to just police the world.
So would you want to unalive people who are using substances? I'm not sure what your argument is. They're unaliving these people. Should we be unaliving people who have substance use disorder?
So, like, you mean drug addicts?
No, I don't mean drug addicts. I mean people who have substance use disorder. Because they're people. Yeah, I don't think we need to minimize them to a singular characteristic. I think substance use disorder is a much better description because they are people first and foremost. I don't think we need to describe them as drug addicts. But go ahead.
Well, like, so I don't know. Like, the mayor-elect here, his name is Darren White, and he's, like, giving all these homeless people, like, hoodies that say, I love Tim Keller, which is the Democrat, just because the Democrats don't care about homeless people, and so they don't really care about the drug issue either.
I don't understand your point. I got to be honest. What exactly is your point? What's your solution to the issue we have? My argument was that it's a supply and demand issue, that using military and criminal
at the local level, they're like,
can I explain? So
they're arresting these people.
Right, they're arresting them, but that does nothing to solve the healthcare issue, right? So what you're advocating for is applying a criminal solution to a healthcare issue. I describe this as a supply and demand issue. What upholds the market? People actively suffering from substance use disorder. Yet our government still wants to apply criminal and military solutions to a healthcare problem. People who suffer from substance use disorder are who largely uphold the market, and that's mostly opiate-based drugs. That's who upholds the market. We need to start addressing that with healthcare, right? With implementing harm reduction strategies rather than continuously advocating for more deterrence theory, right? And that's entirely what they're doing here with these vessels. They're blowing them up to deter other people from considering trafficking in these substances. It's just another form of deterrence theory, which has been completely proven to be ineffective for almost every category of crime, but specifically substance use disorder, because it's a medical issue. It's a healthcare issue, not a criminal one.
So you don't want to kill these drug traffickers, and you want to give these drug addicts healthcare for free?
So people who suffer from substance use disorder, yes, I want to give them healthcare. I want to give you healthcare. Everyone deserves healthcare. But yes, in terms of substance use disorder in particular, and by the way, please do not include people suffering from substance use disorder with the people trafficking in the substances. They're criminals. The people suffering from substance use disorder are sick. There's a big difference. They have a disease.
Yeah, but they're criminals too. They commit crimes too.
Yeah, out of desperation. They're mostly kind, good people.
So that
who
excuses
just
their behavior because they're desperate and poor?
Yeah, which would be important to address the root cause of crime, which would be their disease, right? And you solve that by applying health care and harm reduction strategies. I don't think putting people in prison solves the problem long term. So what I'm saying is, for people suffering from substance use disorder, we need to start accepting, number one, that it's a disease with a genetic component, and that the solution is health care, right? Not criminal punishment. The minute we start accepting that it's a disease and stop stigmatizing it and demonizing it is the minute we'll actually see some of these things addressed and fixed.
Well, when you said genetic component, what does that mean?
It means that people are genetically predisposed to substance use disorder.
what do you mean by that? Like,
oh my God,
like
they're
their mom gave it to them? Like
genetically.
their mom was like they're a crack baby or something.
They inherit it. Yes.
Okay, well, I mean, what are the if cops and like military don't deter these people, then what does?
Healthcare, as I've stated multiple times. So what I'm saying is, right, when you understand,
so you're going to give these drug
talking?
runners healthcare too?
Can you stop talking? Right. What I'm saying is, right, no different than diabetes, no different than cancer. This person has inherited a genetic condition that increases their likelihood, right, or their vulnerability to developing addictions to substances, right? So that is something. So understanding that is the first step to understanding that it's a disease. Furthermore, there are environmental factors, right? Trauma and different things. No different than diabetes, no different than cancer. When someone has cancer, do you even to have treatment accessible to them so they don't suffer? You do, right? You don't go, oh, well, you live near a factory which ultimately caused that cancer. Therefore, you should have to suffer. You're a less than human being. No, you don't. You don't. And you
no,
feel
but what
that.
I'm saying is, like, how do you deter these drug runners?
Yeah, so those are two different topics. If we're talking about people who traffic in these substances, that's a different conversation from those who suffer from the disease of substance use disorder, who uphold the market. Those people, right, who suffer from the disease of substance use disorder are sick. I agree people who traffic in these substances should be criminally punished. But what I also understand is we won't have the if you eliminate the demand, there's no need for a supply. Look at it like supply and demand, right? If there's a demand for a product, supply meets demand. If there's a lesser demand for a product, there's a lesser need for a supply. You eliminate the supply by treating the demand.
So, like,
the war on drugs has been an utter failure for decades.
Well, I heard you say early.
For fucking decades. So if you don't understand this
earlier
by now,
too, like. Well, I heard you say earlier too, like if you eliminate these drug traffickers or whatever by killing them, they'll just be more like the next day. Like they'll find more people, or they'll find another boat, or they'll just keep doing. If once we give them all healthcare and there's no more like people on the street, like won't they just find more? Like won't more people just fall into the same like problem?
What? Are you saying we shouldn't treat them because more people will have the disease? I don't understand what you're asking me.
Well, yeah, like once you give these people
you're making healthcare accessible.
These, like,
you're making healthcare accessible. If you address the demand portion of the issue, there's less of a need for a supply. We don't just wait till they have substance use disorder and give them healthcare.
Like,
we're advocating for universal healthcare. You do understand, right? So everyone would have healthcare.
Well, I guess you're not understanding what I'm saying.
I'm not understanding what you're saying.
I'm just saying,
it's
like,
idiotic.
Once you get,
and you have little respect for people who suffer from a disease that's incredibly painful and destroys families. And I don't find that fucking funny.
Well, I'm just saying, like, once you get them the help they need, won't they just be more people like that? Won't there just be more like
no,
people
because
that
they will have health care.
They won't stop
no, in my perfect world, no, because they will have affordable and accessible health care. They will have affordable and accessible treatment options. There will be harm reduction strategies available, right? To prevent this in the future.
But isn't there people that like just don't want help?
So let me be clear. I guess I'm starting to understand that you don't understand. Just because someone's genetically predisposed doesn't mean they necessarily go on a 30-year run of addiction. Okay? If you're genetically predisposed means you're more likely to suffer from the consequences of addiction, right? You've inherited genetic variations You've inherited genetic variations that increase your likelihood of developing an addiction to a substance. It doesn't guarantee addiction. It means your biology makes you more susceptible to dependence, right? So if they have health care, then we have a preventative measure.
So isn't there people that just don't want help? They choose that life.
There are, but what people often confuse, and again, I studied this extensively during the Dr. Oz Fetterman election, because Dr. Oz was talking about putting these people in camps. I mean, he was saying awful things about people suffering from substance use disorder, and I was calling them zombies, saying horrible things about them. And so I sat down and I studied it. And I studied it nonstop, and I know a lot about it. And I can tell you the more that I learned about it, the more disgusted I became. I encourage you to do the same. I encourage you to do the same. If you're a Trump supporter, call in 908-652-3703. 908-652-3703. The worst thing is that these people are looked at as less than or criminals or zombies, as Dr. Oz referred to them. And the more that I learned about it, the more it made me care about it, and the more because I've always been in opposition to deterrence theory, and I had a surface level understanding of how it worked, but not in relation to how our government. Not in relation to how our government treats it. Ethan, are you a Trump supporter? Ethan, are you a Trump supporter? Guys, by the way, I would appreciate, we have 8 minutes left on the gifting goal. Can we complete the gifting goal? Would appreciate hitting the thumbs up button. If you guys haven't subscribed yet, if you're new here,
Ethan.
I've already accepted.
To accept, press 1. To send a...
All right, Ethan, I'm sorry. I don't know what's happening, buddy. You're going to have to call back again. I've literally... if you guys haven't subscribed yet, I would appreciate hitting the subscribe button, hit the notification bell so you guys don't miss it when I go live. But make sure you hit that thumbs up button. Let's get some blue waves in the chat.
From
Jason.
Can we get some blue waves in the chat? I'm so tired of reading Trump supporters' comments. Can we get some blue waves in the chat? Can you guys just spam blue waves in the chat? I would appreciate it. Jason, what's going on, man? You're a Trump supporter?
Yes. I have a question for you.
Green,
I want a legitimate answer.
Oh, a legitimate E Green. Thank you so much for the $10 super chat.
We pay the National Guard as is, right?
So E Green, thank you for the $10 super chat, and Barbara, thank you for the $4.99 super chat. Appreciate it. Sorry, dude. Go ahead.
We pay the National Guard as is, right? We pay them, finance them. I don't see the big problem from them walking around certain cities as like Chicago or New York, when Chicago and New York already don't have enough officers to supply the neighborhoods as it is.
Okay.
It's already law that the National Guard cannot enforce local law.
They can't work in a law enforcement capacity at all.
And they're not.
They can't be deployed in a criminal deterrence capacity.
I mean, that's not what I'm saying. That's
okay. You got to let me finish, though. You asked me a question.
They can walk around cities.
No, that's logistics. That's not criminal deterrence. They're not allowed to work in a criminal deterrence capacity without consulting local law enforcement. They're not allowed to work in a law enforcement capacity. The federal judge just ruled on this on the 20th, and there was a 21-day stay for the administration to have a chance to appeal. Just ruled the exact same thing that I said. Can't deploy for criminal deterrence without consulting local law enforcement. But outside of that, right? They're supposedly working logistics. They're working support. They're not allowed to engage in law enforcement activities at all, period. Now, I would disagree that they're not engaging in law enforcement capacities, because I think high visibility patrols are, essentially, intimidating people into compliance, essentially.
And there's no different than a law is a form of intimidation to make sure you don't break it.
Someone just died.
Or the judge that enforces the law when you get caught breaking the law.
Well, here's a consequence. Someone just died. So, what did Donald Trump do specifically in Washington? Yes. We have to break down, because it's not the same in every city. And whenever Trump supporters try and debate this with me, they try and debate it. Hold on, please. Whenever I debate this with Trump supporters, they try and debate it as it's the same in every city, and it's not. Because the District of Columbia is a little bit different in terms of unilateral authority and what how the law works and what the justification for deploying them was. The original justification for deploying the National Guard in Washington, D.C. was what?
To bring down the crime.
To bring down the crime.
They didn't even help. Yes.
Right. Okay. So violent crime was the specific category that was cited as justification to invoke what's called the District of Columbia Home Rule Act, Section 740, which federalizes the D.C. police and deploys the National Guard and other federal agencies to Washington, D.C. to do the things you're talking about. Do you know what the crime rate was prior to invoking the District of Columbia Home Rule Act, Section 740?
If I remember correctly, that upper part of Baltimore was a high murder.
We're not talking about. We're not
for the longest
time. Yeah, but we're talking about in Washington, D.C. Go ahead.
Isn't Washington D.C. right outside Baltimore and right?
We're talking about area? There are statistics for Washington, D.C. What was the crime rate in Washington, D.C. Specifically the category of crime? What was it? Not talking about Baltimore. What was it?
It was homicide and violent crime.
Yes, and what was the reduction? There was a reduction.
Homicide and violent crime in Washington, D.C.
Correct. What was the reduction?
It was, I think they went.
I'll just tell you.
It was substantial, if I could remember. It was over 50%.
No, not 50. So if you're, well, it depends on if you're talking about, I don't know if you're talking about annually or over the last 5 years since COVID, but let's use a 5-year trend.
Yes.
All right, let's use a 5-year trend then. Regardless, 14% below pre-pandemic levels, 27% reduction in that category of crime, violent crime specifically, and 11% overall. So crime was going down, was on a downward trend.
What about homicide?
Yeah, 27. Oh, specifically homicide? I don't know off the top of my head. I just know violent crime was down 27, but it was down.
Homicide was substantial. When they were, what I'm saying is, it brought it down even substantially because people were dying. One person dying every 2 days.
Wait, are you talking about prior to or after the deployment?
Prior to the National Guard being deployed in Washington, D.C., the murder rate went down substantially above 50%.
Okay, but it was going down before Trump deployed them. It was going down before Trump deployed them.
Now you're conflating it.
No, I'm not.
It was going down, but not at that much.
Yes, it was.
I just said on all the news, it was like, oh my God, we went 11 days without a homicide, 12 days without a homicide.
Okay,
when it was every 2 to 3 days having a homicide. No. Now you're moving the goalpost.
It hit a violent. I said
the homicide
I'm
rate
not
went
moving
down.
the goalpost. He didn't specify homicide.
He
said violent crime was the justification. Violent crime is out of control. Violent crime hit a 30-year low in 2024. So with the exception of 2020,
homicide a violent crime?
Yes, homicide's a violent crime. Yes. So with the exception of 2023. There was a consistent downward trend. That's what I'm saying. So what I'm saying is that's one of the many reasons I didn't think it was justified to call them in, right? Because number one, constitutionally, they're not supposed to work within a law enforcement capacity, right? That's number one. Like that other idiot tried to ask a question about the Constitution. That's what he was referring to. Number two, Donald Trump has limited authority within D.C. Does the president have unilateral authority over Washington, D.C.?
No, he has unilateral authority over federal land outside of the Capitol building.
Wrong. He does not have unilateral authority over Washington, D.C. in anything at all.
He is the chief federal executive.
So what is Article 1, Section 8, Clause 17 of the Constitution?
He's the chief federal executive.
The District Clause grants that authority to Congress.
I don't know it off the top of my head right now.
Okay, I'll tell you. The District Clause grants that authority to Congress. Congress has ultimate authority over Washington, D.C.
For which part?
Well, the president. So, for instance, if we're in this case, we're talking about the District of Columbia Home Rule Act, Section 740. The president has a 30-day window without congressional approval. If he had unilateral authority for deployment, he wouldn't need congressional approval outside of a 30-day window. See what I'm saying? So that obviously eliminates the idea that he has unilateral control.
No.
But yeah, he does. You can look it up. Does the president have unilateral control over the National Guard when invoking the District of Columbia Home Rule Act Section 740, or does he require congressional approval? You can look up the district clause in the Constitution, Article 1, Section 8, Clause 17, that specifically states that authority is granted to Congress, not to the president. But besides that point, let's look at the consequence. Let's look at I don't know that I trust this administration when they feed me statistics when they obviously need a positive result after deploying them. But how does that work as a long-term solution? Because once you roll back the National Guard, what happens? This is why I advocate for addressing the root cause of crime rather than using more deterrence. It's only a temporary solution.
Okay. Do you know why Chicago will never get fixed? We'll use Chicago. You know why Chicago will always have a high crime rate?
I don't know that to be true, but what's your point you're making?
Hello?
Yeah, I'm here. I don't understand your point.
In Cook County, no, it got quiet. In Cook County, they get a special extra money. Let's call it extra money. You could look this up. You could Google it. You could do whatever you want. You could look it up. If Cook County crime rate drops to a certain percent, they don't get the extra money to fund the police that are there.
Well, I mean,
it's a balance situation.
So police don't,
and it's unfair. It's literally unfair.
But police don't solve.
I didn't say the police.
Yeah, you just did.
Police solve crimes.
No, they don't.
Solve crimes.
No, they don't.
And if they keep solving the crimes to bring the crime, who solves the crime?
They go unresolved. A lot of times, police do not solve a large portion of crime. Have you ever looked up?
No.
They solve less. They solve a quarter of all rape cases. They solve less than 25% of robbery cases.
You're blanketing what I'm saying.
No, I'm not.
What I'm saying is, if police solved a crime that was happening, they wouldn't get the extra 800. I think it was 800 million to help the crime problem.
If police solve crime, they don't get funding.
They get more money if there's a higher crime. No, listen. No, I didn't say funding. I didn't say funding. I said because they're a high crime rate, they get extra money through the government. And if they solve the crime, they don't get that extra money.
So you think it's some kind of conspiracy or something? Is that what you're saying? To not
it's
solve
not a conspiracy,
the crime? But that would prove my point, not yours.
Wow.
Because I'm arguing against police.
Let's say the mayor, if the mayor is not doing her job and just wanting to collect the money to bring the money in.
Stop it.
And telling people to step down, don't.
Stop it. This is just ridiculous.
I lived in Broward County. I know this for a fact. Do you know who Scott Israel is?
Yeah, just make your point, dude. You lived in Broward County, did you say?
In Broward County, the sheriff there would not.
Oh, here comes the anecdote.
Write up certain crimes in the city of Parkland. No. It's all. You can look up Cook County extra money for police.
Look up Cook County extra money. So what you're saying is they're not solving crimes, and so they can get more funding. Okay, I don't know, but it proves my point either way. I mean, I'm arguing against over policing as ineffective. So cool. Then let's eliminate. Let's stop using more police as a solution. Let's start actually addressing the root causes of crime.
No, but you're talking about locally. You're talking about locally people doing one thing and then somebody else coming in and say, "Hey, this shit has to stop. This is unfair."
No, I'm
because
saying
there are good people
no.
Who live in Chicago
that wasn't my point at all. That wasn't my point at all. What I said is it doesn't work as a long-term solution to crime. Meaning the only way this would work, similar to like bombing these vessels and any other form of deterrence, is if you commit to continuing to do it. So if the National Guard is going to maintain a presence in Washington, D.C., then sure, I guess you could consider that a solution. I don't want them to be the policing system of Washington, D.C. I don't want them to intimidate the public into compliance by conducting high visibility patrol. Then what's the long-term solution outside of military policing? Then what's the long-term solution?
Military ain't policing. They're just there.
Then what's the long-term solution?
They're just there.
What's the long-term solution?
Vote the stupid people out who
don't
do nothing to fix the city.
You're not answering my question because you don't have an answer, because the only answer that makes sense is my answer, which is why you're avoiding the answer.
I literally said vote the stupid people out.
No, I'm talking about
vote the stupid people out because
cool. We're voting you in.
Been,
we're voting you in. We're voting you in. What are you doing about it?
I did the same thing. Basically, Mayor Giuliani did. That cleaned up New York.
No, that was like policing. That was system.
Yes.
You just said stop the policing.
They're not allowed. One more time.
Oh my God, this guy's contradicting himself.
I never said stop the policing. I said the police aren't doing their job. I keep saying the police aren't doing their job.
Oh my God, this is such a ridiculous. It's not true, dude. It's not true. The police aren't going to do their job regardless, if that's the case you're making. But if you think there's some kind of conspiracy as to why they're not doing their job on purpose, and we just need to get them to do their job, the issue is, number one, they are stretched entirely too thin. In New York City, for instance, they're responding to people who, these non-violent calls of people being unhoused and being present outside of a business, that draws them away from actual crimes that are being committed. So that's why I'm talking about community policing strategies that address the root causes of crime. We need to address the root causes of crime and stop trying to use more deterrence methods, right? You're talking about more deterrence, fixing deterrence methods by over-policing or policing. I'm not on board with that. I'm talking about community policing. I'm talking about implementing harm reduction strategies and addressing the root causes of crime as an ultimate long-term solution to crime. If I elect you tomorrow, you're just saying more policing. That's part of the problem.
Long-term solution of crime?
Yeah, addressing the root causes of crime.
Because culturally, crime is a cultural problem. Hands down, it's a cultural problem, nothing more than cultural. When you got people over here on TikTok and Facebook and making these stupid reels, committing crimes and showing it on these freaking reels and saying, "Oh, this is cool," it's a cultural problem. It's not an economic problem for the most part.
Okay.
Because the same crimes that are happening in major cities aren't happening in poor
So
counties.
Can I ask you a question? Are you saying if it's only a cultural problem, can you tell me, are there no economic factors?
I said it's a majority.
No, it's not. There are a million socioeconomic factors I can give you. What about poverty? What about inequality? What about lack of access to education or opportunity? Guy,
This is 2025. There is no such thing as lack of education.
What?
Or lack access to.
What?
Anybody? Yes, I said what I said. I'll say it with my whole chest. Anybody could go to school.
Do you think just going to school,
after college and stuff like that? What?
I think just going to school makes you automatically educated?
Going to school, you're the one that said lack of education.
Yeah.
All you need to do is read, write, learn arithmetic, and you can make something of your life.
Hold on.
You really can.
Guy, have you ever been to West Virginia? Like, have you ever been to Arkansas, Alabama, Kentucky?
Yes.
Okay, there are tons of people, right, that are incredibly uneducated in those places. They couldn't complete high school. They struggle.
I chalk that up to cultural.
No, there's access to quality education. You're saying just going to school means you're getting a quality education, and that's not true. There are communities that are underserved, right? They don't have quality education available to them. There's places, that don't.
I've been to those parts. I've been to those parts.
Listen, Kai, there are schools in the United States that don't have access to the internet. Okay? That don't have access to the internet.
I don't use it.
Yeah, it's very difficult in 2025 to be effectively educated without it. Okay.
It's not.
And how old are you?
You're
How old are you?
45 years old.
Okay,
I don't even have
educating someone today, effectively, and educating you when you were a child is totally different. Jesse, thank you so much for the $5 super chat.
It's at their fingertips.
Guy, you're
everything have the internet. I did it the sweat of my brow.
So you're saying there aren't disadvantaged communities. So what you're arguing, right, is there aren't economically disadvantaged communities who have fewer schools and lack access to the internet and have teachers who aren't necessarily qualified to be teaching the subjects they're teaching? Is that what you're telling me? And then they're being provided a quality education the same as someone in maybe New York City? No. No, absolutely not.
We're talking about let's take New York for instance.
Can you
let's talk about New York. Every corner you go around in New York.
Guy, I can't move forward with you. I can't move forward with you. Guy, I cannot move forward with you unless you're going to admit to me crime is influenced by socioeconomic factors. I'm not moving forward unless you admit that.
Culture. No, it's done by culture.
So poverty doesn't influence crime.
I believe it's cultural.
Does poverty influence crime? You can't be this.
It depends what you mean by that. Because
what?
Poverty, also have a brand new cell phone, also have Jordans. I come from the ghetto. You're speaking nonsense to me. I've seen growing up in the ghetto.
What are you talking
in Miami
about?
And Broward County.
Did you wait? I want you to repeat. I want you to repeat what you just. I want you to repeat what you just said. Poverty does not cause.
Explain to me what you mean by poverty.
You want me to explain what poverty means? If we've reached the point where you don't know what poverty means. No, it isn't. If people, people rob when they don't have food? People steal when they don't have food. Are they more likely to steal than a family that has access to food and water? Would they be more likely to rob when they go to Walmart or steal when they go to Walmart? Yes or no?
I'm 50-50. I'll give you.
Oh my God, you're guy. I can't tell if you're dumb or disingenuous. I really can't. I can't tell if you're dumb or disingenuous.
Because I know people on food stamps.
Guys, I want you guys. Hold on. I want you guys to listen. This guy's argument is people do this because of social media and shit like that. That it's solely a cultural problem.
No.
That's exactly what you said. It's exactly what you said. You said people on TikTok. No, it isn't majority.
A majority cultural problem.
Oh my God, you're a goofball, dude. You're an absolute goofball. This guy's telling me it's a cultural problem. Yeah, culture plays a role certainly, but you're dismissing poverty, inequality, education, you're not opportunity.
Here, let me.
You don't think areas with less opportunity? You don't think areas with less opportunity?
New York or Chicago.
I'm sorry. This guy's just, I can't. I'm losing my voice over debating these troglodytes. I swear to God. I'm literally losing my voice. Like, it's just too dumb. It's too dumb to even comprehend. It really is. It's too dumb to comprehend. If you think what he's saying makes sense, it's because you're also not very bright and you should stick to something else. Okay? Of course he's a bigot. Of course. Are you a Trump supporter? Nalo, thank you so much.
What did you say?
And Halo, thank you so much for the
Hello?
9. Yeah, I'm answering someone in chat. Please just hold on a second. Thank you so much for the $9.99 super chat, dude. This dude is simply a bigot. He used the word culture for people. Exactly. But he's I can't tell if he's disingenuous or dumb, honestly. Like, that was actually hard to decipher which one. Are you a Trump supporter? I didn't say culture has no role. I said if you're not going to acknowledge there are socioeconomic factors to crime such as poverty, no point talking to you. Are you a Trump supporter, dude?
Yes, I am.
Somebody said it's a fact. Look it up. You're stupid.
You were talking about poverty creating crime.
Yeah, poverty absolutely plays a role.
There's a lot of studies that show that poverty. Yeah, it does. It does 100%.
Right. I don't need to go over it again, dude. I hung up on him for a reason. So let's just.
Yeah, I'm just saying. Just saying.
He's stupid, It's
I listened.
Yeah, he was either being disingenuous.
Every day.
He was either being disingenuous, or I don't know what he was doing, to be honest. But I honestly don't know.
Okay.
What about the bombing of the vessels? Okay. That's where we started with the conversation, and ultimately preventing drug trafficking.
The bomb. Yeah. Okay. I believe Hegseth's got some explaining to do. I really do. And I don't know how close he is to Trump or whatever, but his head will probably roll for this, I'd say.
I would hope that would be the case.
It don't look good for him.
I hope that would be the case, but I'm going to be honest with you, I really don't think so.
Really don't. And first of all, I want to congratulate you for being just on your game all the time. I listen to you about every day, so I'm always objective to everything.
I appreciate it.
When I say Trump supporter, I supported him in this last election. I voted for him. I just thought it was the lesser of two evils, I guess. Well, now I'm not so sure. Anyway.
Well, why are you?
It's looking pretty grim. It's looking pretty grim.
Why are you?
It's looking grim?
Let
me
say this to you.
Really,
why are you not willing to just give it let go? What is the thing that's holding on? Because at this point, I'm telling you, there's nothing left to hold on to here.
Right. There really isn't, and that's exactly right. And I'm about to just really. It's one of those things where, like, God dang it, I don't want to admit that I'm wrong. I guess it's ego, maybe, but you got to let it go because this guy's really just he's fucking things up so bad.
Yeah, he's destroying the country. Listen, it's easier to.
I'm sorry,
people.
But I was a Trump supporter.
I understand that. Listen, it's easier to fool people than to convince them that they've been fooled. That's a Mark Twain quote. It's easier to fool people than to convince them. People, just generally speaking, are stubborn. But what I will tell you is, and I have limited time, so maybe we could talk another time, but just keep listening. Yes. But listen, man, there's nothing left to hold on to here. You know it. If you listen every day, you know.
No, you're right. And I'm sorry. Yeah, I do. And I want to say this, and I know you don't have a lot of time. I just want to say this real quick. I encourage people to listen to you and get educated, because that's what I've done. Okay. Reason I said I was a Trump supporter because I was. I'm leaving it, and I just hope something better comes along. But I do appreciate you, and I will be giving to your channel because I really enjoy it. Okay.
Thanks,
that's
buddy.
all I wanted to say.
Thanks, buddy. Take care. Appreciate you. I would much rather have people admit they made a mistake and move forward. And listen, let me tell you something. There are going to be people that ride this all the way to the very end with him. I don't recommend being one of them. You were wrong. If you voted for him, you made a mistake. You're wrong. It's time to move on. And we can disagree on a number of things policy-wise, but we're not going to have a country left to have these conversations if this continues. I'm telling you right now. What's going on, dude? Are you a Trump supporter?
No, I'm not. But I must say, you have a lot of patience to deal with his supporters. The truth can be right there in their face, and they will find a way to deny, and deflect.
Yep.
To have a civil conversation with his supporters on several occasions, and I can ask a question, a very civilized, easy question.
Right.
Only for them to just start calling me out my name. What about Obama? Or what about? And it's like, no, but I just asked a simple question.
What about Obama?
So,
yeah. Well,
good luck with what you're doing. Yeah.
I appreciate you. Listen, you're 100% right. And it's very difficult, right? Because, and especially when you talk to multiple people in a row throughout the day, I can tell when people are being dishonest. I can tell when people are just trying to win a conversation rather than accept things that are just facts. It's not, we're arguing over like the truth, right? There is no your truth or my truth. There is the truth. And sometimes they won't accept those facts, but it can become very frustrating, and it's not for everybody. But, I appreciate you trying. Thanks for calling in, though. I appreciate it. Take care.
Thank you.
If you are a Trump supporter, you can call in 908-652-3703. Guys, I do really appreciate you fixing some guy left me the best message, guys. You got to hear it. I bet he's watching, too, because he watches every day. You guys want to hear something?
Joseph.
You guys want to hear something great? You guys want to see this DM I got earlier? Let me show you guys this DM I got earlier. It's the best. It's fucking hilarious, dude. Hold on. Yeah, hold on one second, dude. He said, "You are a shill. You lied about so many things like January 6th, and your chat is filled with literal leftist terrorists." He called you guys leftist terrorists. I thought you would like that. That was on TikTok this morning. I thought you guys would like that. What's up, man? What's your first name?
Joseph.
Joseph, you're a Trump supporter?
I am.
Okay, Joseph, and we've been talking about the vessels today. That's a pretty hot topic right now with the Hegseth stuff. Would you like to give your thoughts?
On which part? I basically called in for what I was hearing earlier about the addicts. Talking about the addicts.
Yeah, we don't call people addicts though. Okay, we call them people who suffer from substance use
disorder. And that's another thing that well, and that's okay if that's what you want to call them.
That's what you need to call them.
And I say that the word itself can help people. Well, no, that's just what I mean. I'm okay with it because the word itself helped me because nobody wants to be stuck with that word, and it'll kind of help in the process of trying to heal. But a person has to want it first.
But the problem is that it's incredibly dehumanizing, and
doing drugs
and substance use disorder is a lifelong. So first of all, it's incredible. I was answering right. It's incredibly dehumanizing, and substance use disorder is a lifelong condition, right? Especially for those with genetic predisposition. Therefore, just because you're not currently using doesn't mean you don't suffer from the disorder of substance use disorder. Okay? So it doesn't suddenly go away. Maybe you're not physically dependent, but a person suffering from substance use disorder would just be a person not suffering from substance use disorder, which is a person.
Well, I get that. I get that part. Okay, I understand what you're trying to get at.
Mm-hmm.
But yes, once you're an addict, you're kind of always an addict. You're basically learn how to control it a little bit more than when you were using, and you couldn't control it. You see what I'm saying?
I do. I understand what you're saying, but I just want to clarify that the conversation was not directed towards specifically the disease itself, as I'm not a doctor, but I am familiar with and enough to have a discussion about solutions in terms of implementing harm reduction strategies, right, and using community policing programs and not applying deterrence theory for a healthcare issue. I think that the problem is with the country, and this isn't specific to Republicans, but Republicans are very much in favor of more police as a policy or solution to an issue with crime. And when it comes to substance use disorder, I look at it as like a supply and demand issue, right? And that the demand is people suffering from substance use disorder, and the supply is the people who traffic in those substances. And our government repeatedly, this is what the war on drugs was, repeatedly wants to attack the supply portion of that issue, right, without ever treating the demand, right? When there's less of a demand, there's less of a need for a supply. We don't treat the demand. What upholds the market is the people who suffer from substance use disorder. Those people deserve health care. They deserve affordable and accessible treatment options, and they deserve a way out, right? They deserve a way out. They deserve for it to be treated like a medical condition that it is, and we need to stop treating it with criminal deterrence theory.
Absolutely, but that goes both ways, though. Without the demand, you don't have the supply. Without the supply, you don't have the demand. So that could go both ways.
There would be no supply. If there's no demand, there would be no supply. Ma'am, if there's no demand, there is no supply.
There'll be demand.
Right.
You can't agree that
it doesn't go both ways,
without
though,
the
right?
demand.
No, because
or without the supply, there is no demand.
I'm not sure what you mean. What exactly are you saying? If there's less of a demand for a product, then there's no need for a supply of a product. They don't there wouldn't be as much incentive, right, to traffic in the substances if there wasn't a demand for those substances.
Say that again.
Who would they be supplying if people are not demanding the substance?
Well, nobody.
Right. So there wouldn't be a supply. It would decrease the
but if there's
need for a supply.
There wouldn't be demand to use it. I mean, to me, it almost takes it almost if you cut the supply, it would almost help out the
right. But you're not cutting the supply.
That once you cross that line.
Here's what you're saying. I get what you. I just realized what you're saying. You're just misunderstanding. What you're saying is if you cut the supply, then that will eliminate the demand, and that's not true. That's what you're trying to say. You're trying to say you could cut the supply with military action, like what Trump is doing, and that will decrease the demand. No, ma'am. The demand exists regardless without proper health care. The demand exists because people are still suffering from the disease of substance use disorder, and this is largely the opiate market. Okay? It doesn't, just because you unalive people who traffic in these substances, the people suffering from substance use disorder still exist. There's still high demand for the product. Supply always meets demand. Did you ever take Economics 101 in college?
No, I didn't. I didn't go to college.
Okay. So very simply put, ma'am, let's think about it in terms of supply and demand. When there's a demand for a product, does supply meet demand? Supply meets demand.
Repeat that again.
When there's a demand for a product, does supply meet demand?
When there's a supply.
When there's a demand for a product, does supply meet the demand? Supply meets demand, right? You have to treat the demand portion.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, yeah.
If you want to decrease the supply, the incentives are too great, right? There's too much money involved.
So why can't we do, both? So, and here's what I mean by that.
We can.
Why don't we? Because these people aren't just dealing drugs; they're trafficking people. These are nasty people. I mean, you can Google some of these videos these cartel members do to each other and civilians. I mean, they're horrible, horrible people. So, I mean, it's not just the drugs; it's other things these people are doing. That's just one of the things they'll be taken care of by them being taken out. and after that's done, we still treat the people that that are going through this and want the help. We don't ever, to turn them away, for health care or anything like that. Treat the people who are willing to accept what they're going through, and or willing to to also accept the help to change.
So no one is disputing. No one is disputing that people who engage in trafficking in these substances should be punished. But you're missing one really important element here. What I have found through my research, right, is that cartels often use other people to traffic in these substances. That's to start with. Many of which are doing so under the threat of death. We can't determine who's on the boat or what the circumstances are without judicial oversight. So this is a consequence of lack of judicial oversight, just not knowing who's on those vessels. No one's arguing that people who engage in trafficking of these substances should be punished. And sure, that's just because if you take advantage of people, you should pay for it, right? But that's not what we're talking about here. They're talking about as a solution to preventing this from being a problem, right? To solving the problem. It's not a long-term solution, is what I'm saying. You can't address the issue long-term without treating the issue here at home, which is the people who uphold the market, largely suffering from a disease with a genetic component that requires medical care, health care, which they're currently not receiving. And then obviously the implementation of harm reduction strategies, like I discussed previously, safe injection sites, etc. Danielle, thank you so much, Danielle.
Is it each state different as far as what kind of health care you receive? And I say that because I'm originally from Tennessee, and to get health care there, say if you're poor or you become an addict and you're not working, you don't get health care. You just don't get it. You have to damn near be dying. But in Minnesota, which is where I live now, they hand it out to every Tom, Dick, and Harry there is. And some of these people are able to work and to be able to afford the health care themselves. But it's just being handed out like, trick-or-treating candy. It really is.
You're talking about Medicaid?
So
no, it's not. What are you talking about? Of course it varies by state. But access to Medicaid is, first of all, everyone should have health care coverage. I'm advocating for everyone to have health care coverage. Obviously, in terms of the differences between states, there's different, flexibility, right, and stuff like that in their eligibility criteria. But that's not what I'm talking about, right? There's a whole number of different factors that go into solving this problem. Number one, people need to have access to treatment. So when we talk about substance use disorder in particular, the most successful form of treatment is MAT, right? Medication in combination with therapy, right? Typically prescribed by a psychiatrist. That successful form of treatment is not available in entire counties in this country. There are counties that don't have access to the most successful form of treatment, right? There are wait lists years long for rehabilitation centers, right? There's a million different factors. And everyone needs health care. They need access to treatment, and they need access to long-term care.
Yeah, no, I agree. I agree with you on that part. It's disgusting that people that aren't able to afford health care, that are willing to make the change to better themselves.
You can't will yourself out of substance use disorder, ma'am. Okay? You can't will yourself out of substance use disorder. It requires medical treatment. That's what it is. There are certainly going to be cases where people are able to recover, but they still have substance use disorder even after they are no longer physically dependent. So regardless, it would still require long-term treatment. Thanks for calling in. I appreciate it. See if we can get a Trump supporter to call in here. 908-652-3703. 3703. Guys, that was a woman. Or maybe it wasn't. I'm sorry. If it wasn't, I'm very sorry. I really didn't know. I'm sorry. I thought it was. For some reason. Did I say ma'am? I don't remember saying ma'am. Maybe I did. Forgive me if I did. I'm sorry about that. I think people that are addicted to drugs shouldn't have health care. I think people that are addicted to drugs shouldn't have health care? What? Oh my God.
Call from.
Hi, what's up? How are you? Are you a Trump supporter?
Yeah, it's Joseph again. I wanted to ask you one more question before we
Joseph, I'm moving on to the next guest. Thank you.
Rodney.
Rodney, what's going on? Are you a Trump supporter?
Accept.
Hell yeah.
Okay, and
are you a Trump supporter?
No, Rodney, I'm not a Trump supporter. Okay, why are you a Trump supporter?
Why are you?
I'm not. I just said I'm not.
Oh, I thought you said you are. Okay.
No.
All right.
I'm not.
Well,
so why are you
first
a Trump
of all,
supporter?
Care about America, the future of America, the American economy. We need a businessman running this country, not some pedophile.
Oh, wait. Not some what? Pedophile? Really? So is Joe Biden being accused of being in the Epstein files, sir?
Yes, absolutely, 1,000%.
Really?
Who do you think had the files in the administration for the longest time?
Joe Biden couldn't have released them during his term. There was an ongoing case and appeal in the Ghislaine Maxwell appeal. Furthermore, federal law prohibited due to victims' privacy. So you're wrong.
So
can I ask you why
Donald
Trump?
all the crimes
can I finish?
Hold on. I was talking.
No, I'm talking. I'm not done talking. You don't decide when I'm done talking, forehead. Right? I decide when I'm done talking. So can you tell me why there was a concerted effort to...
Whoa.
Can you tell me why there was a concerted effort to keep that information from the American people if Donald Trump's not in them?
I don't know. You tell me. Do you think that's what's happening right now?
Because guess what?
Is that where your heart tells you?
Pam Bondi.
Is that verifiable information?
Yes. Pam Bondi informed him in May.
What is actual verifiable information? First of all, when we talk about information, especially intelligence, it has to be verified intelligence, right? And not just something that's speculated. Because this is all speculative, right?
No.
Everything that you just said, that was all technically speculative.
So I'll explain this again, right? Let's see if you can understand this. Pam Bondi informed him in May he was in the files.
Okay.
Pam Bondi informed him in May he was in the files.
Yep. Then that means that...
Yeah, Danielle, I'll read it after this.
So what about the rest of the administration and everybody else?
Danielle, thank you for the $5 super chat.
What about like the dozens of Democrats that are in there as well?
Danielle, thank you for the $5 super chat. Addressing previous guests, Chicago is leading all major cities in crime reduction with a 33% reduction in homicide and a 22.1% drop in violent crime. Yes. Thank you for the $5.
You sound like an angry person.
No, you don't shut up. So Pam Bondi informed him in May.
No, I think that there's a delay.
No, there isn't. If you'll stop trying to talk over me, there won't be. It's like a second long.
I don't know, man. I think you're using voiceover.
I'm not using voiceover. I'm not going to argue with you. So stupid. I think you're using voiceover. No, dude, this is my voice. Okay? This is my voice. I'm not using any voiceover. Jesus Christ almighty. God help us all. God help us all. What? Losing every argument and telling people to shut up? It's losing. It's losing. Losing isn't spelled with 2 O's, you shoe. Now you get muted. Have a good day. This host is losing. This host is losing. This host is losing. What's up? Are you a Trump supporter?
Yeah.
Okay, why?
Hello?
Yeah, why?
Well, I guess if we go back to, I just kind of thought we needed a stronger president, 12 years ago or whatever the hell he was first ran.
Okay.
More of a businessman. I wanted to see more of a business type people in government rather than, politicians.
He's a failure of a businessman. Online poker crush. You're a pedophile. Shut up. We don't let pedophiles talk in here. Shut your mouth. Go ahead. So he's a failed businessman. What good businessman?
That was weird.
Yeah. Actually, you know what? Here's what I'm going to do. The last guest was a clown, so I'm going to dunk on you just to show the chat that Trump is guilty. Let's talk about the Epstein files. Do you think Trump is in them? You get to take his dunking.
Quite possibly.
No, he is in them. Pam Bondi informed him in May. Can you explain to me why there was a concerted effort to conceal those files from the American public? Because I can actually lay out grounds for articles of impeachment.
I want to know what the fuck's going on with that as well.
So then why are you supporting him still?
Yes, why they're being like that?
Why are you still supporting him?
Oh, you don't need to support. So you don't got to get someone 100% approval on something to support.
If they're
just because someone
potentially
does one
peed,
thing
you
is
do.
wrong doesn't mean everything else I think is wrong. Also, you
Really?
gotta compare with also your other options.
Really? In the case of
Yeah, you compare with other
pedophilia?
options you got. Sometimes it's the best of worst evil.
Really? And we're talking about potentially being involved.
Oh, I didn't
as
say
a,
that. I said he. Hold on. I never once said he was a part of it. I said he was definitely part of the flight logs that probably went over there. But that could be from the other reasons.
No.
But
so again, we already know the
but I would
flight.
like to go back to this.
Can I
other
finish
part
talking,
where I'm
please?
saying
Shut the
just
fuck
because
up.
you don't support one thing someone does doesn't mean you ought to.
Goodbye, you fucking loudmouth. Jesus Christ, they never shut up. That's not a delay. That's over talking. That's what that is. I'm just going to control the live. You control nothing. You control nothing. See, what they can't do is they can't stop talking. That's the problem. They can't shut up long enough to listen. It has nothing to do with voice over IP or any other bullshit.
Call from.
There's a slight delay. It doesn't cause you to overtalk the way you are. You're overtalking because you won't shut the fuck up. Dylan, shut up. Shut up, Dylan. Go ahead. What's up? Are you a Trump supporter?
I am. It's me again.
Stop calling me. It's not me again. God damn. Stop calling me. That's the 5th time I've told that dude to stop calling me back. If you're a Trump supporter, call in 908-652-3703. God, I love nothing more than just flattening these Republicans sometimes, man. Nope, he's calling on a fake number now. This dude is obsessed. This dude is obsessed.
Call from.
Carl.
Yes, it's me again, dude. Carl, are you a Trump supporter?
Hell yeah.
Sorry, I just can't. I can't. I'm not having a conversation with that. I'm just not. If you're a Trump supporter, call in 908-652-3703.
You talked over him when he was trying to say you can disagree with one thing someone does, but support them overall.
We're talking about pedophilia. No, you can't.
You talked over him first. You said that he was talking over you, but then you started talking over him.
Oh, my God. Oh, wait. So Tim R., guys, look at this comment. Tim R. is literally admitting that Trump is a childish, women-abusing POS, but he is finally doing what we should have done 20 years ago. Tim, how do you just overlook that, Tim? No one's saying they should come into the country, but we have interdiction methods. We have military technology that can literally stop a vessel from miles away, like electromagnetic solutions to these problems. You don't need to kill them. You can stop them. We have the technology to do it. But it's remarkable to me that you guys acknowledge that he is a women abusing POS, and you're still telling me he should be the president. Like, what's the line in the sand, folks? What's the line in the sand? Is there a line in the sand, or is there no line in the sand? You know what's scary to me, right? And I want to be honest about something, right? These guys don't care about PDF files. They don't care about grabbing women without consent. They don't care about any of those things, right? None of them are enough for them to say no. Holy shit. Holy shit, man. It's honestly scary to me. Like, what I have found out through all of this is they absolutely, like, should not be parents, any of them. Forget voting. They shouldn't be parents. Someone said, electromagnets, how do they work? I'm saying the military has weapons that they use to disrupt or damage, like, vessels and their navigation and their radar and their communication equipment to put them out of commission. We can disable a vessel from miles away. We have incredibly it's not even advanced at this point, but we have, like, weapons that create radio frequency energy. We can absolutely stop a vessel. We do not need to blow it up. Doge says, can I have your address? Yeah, I'll give you my address. Hold on, dude. Let me get it for you. Garrett, let's not pretend you would do anything anyway, okay? I go to protests and I actually film them. So, Garrett, anytime you want, you come show up at a protest and you come say hi to me. How much you want to bet that's not going to ever happen? Guys, let me just bring up the guy that's threatening me in the chat really quick. Hold on, everybody. Let me just bring up the guy who's threatening me in the chat for everybody here. Hold on, folks. Everybody needs to be on alert. On alert. On alert. Everyone be on alert immediately. Be on alert immediately. We've got a MAGA guy in the chat that's dangerous. Everyone watch out. Everyone, you're about to be afraid. You're about to be afraid. Chestnuts roasting on an open fire. Hey, Garrett. Bye, Garrett. Have a good day. Have a good day, Garrett. Have a good day, Garrett. Oh, my God. Yeah, here it is. You got it? Okay. 935. Let me write this down real quick. I got to put this down for Garrett real quick. Hold on. I got to put this down for Garrett. Garrett, it's 935 Pennsylvania Avenue, Washington, D.C., 20535. What's up? Are you a Trump supporter?
Yes.
Okay, and why are you a Trump supporter? Dude, someone in the chat literally
I just got $2,000.
Bro, somebody in the chat literally
I just got a $2,000 check.
Bro, somebody literally in the chat just said, you're getting flamed in here. I haven't heard someone use the word flamed since the early 2000s, bro. Getting flamed in here. Dude, I haven't seen somebody say the word flamed since like 2005. What the fuck? Yo, that's old as hell. All right, man. What's going on, bro? Wow, why'd you hang up, man? I thought we were going to chat. Bro, flamed is crazy. Can I get some flames in the chat, please? I don't know where that guy went. I had to answer somebody in the chat, and I think he got mad. Can I get some flames in the chat, please? This guy thinks he's the main character. This guy here thinks he's the main character. Oh my God. There's some funny people in here, bro.
Call from.
Oh my God. I voted for him twice. Aim at me, I dare you. Dude, are you like trying to create an edit for yourself or something? You gonna put some like scary music on the back? What's up, bro? How you doing? All right, thank you for calling in repeatedly and hanging up. That's not solving much of a problem here. Can we please get you to answer? Oh my God, just look at them, dude. Look at them in the chat. It's so funny. Look. You were talking over him. What's up, man? Are you a Trump supporter?
Hello.
Yeah, are you a Trump
Yeah.
supporter?
Did I vote for Trump 2 times?
Okay, and why did you vote for Trump?
Because the Vietnamese immigrant trying to have a nice time with a big boy. You know what I'm saying? They have a little...
Goodbye, dude. You were talking over him, you. Oh, my God. Oh, God, I couldn't laugh. It's just too funny. Pinning them is the best way, dude. You voted for Donald Trump. Well, he's caused more issues in the Middle East. The most issues in the Middle East since George W. Bush. Can we get a serious call? I agree, bro. I agree. I'm getting a bunch of like fetuses now. Did they just get out of school or something? Probably, dude. I would appreciate guys call in 908-652-3703. You know the number. Call in if you're serious, you know? Calling a Trump supporter serious, though. Guys, can we just address this, though? Can everyone in here, like, agree with me on this? Every Trump supporter brings up this Trump derangement syndrome thing. Can we all just clarify really quick that Trump derangement syndrome is what you guys have? Can we all work together? Can we all work together to change the definition of Trump derangement syndrome? Because you guys do know that was introduced by a pedophile, right? You probably should stop using that term. But in all seriousness, let's use it on you. Anyone who dresses red hats, anyone who's gone to a Trump rally, anyone who has stickers on their car, you have Trump derangement syndrome. Hey, do you have Trump derangement syndrome, sir?
No.
Oh my, how old are you?
67.
Oh my God. Get that 6'7" stuff away from me, dude. I can't run away from it. Oh my God. 6'7". I hear that all the time. All the time. I can't escape the 6'7" stuff. I just can't. Oh my God, these kids these days. And nobody will tell me what it means either, including my own child. Including my own child. I have no idea what it means. I have no idea. I have a USA flag on my bumper. Is that supporting Trump? No. But Trump doesn't respect the flag. Did you notice the flags weren't at half staff for that member of the National Guard who was unalived? Because let me tell you something. Trump doesn't respect the military either. He doesn't respect the military either. No, I have no idea what 6'7" means. I literally don't know what it means. So, pretty sure. I mean, my child doesn't know what it means either. So, I mean, if I'm being honest, he doesn't know either.
Call from Max.
No, Max, you're a child, right? So, like, I'm sure you're probably calling it. Oh God, I should have never even said the 6'7" thing.
Bruce.
Now I'm getting all children. Bruce, are you a Trump supporter?
Yes. Yes, I
okay.
am.
And Bruce, Trump derangement syndrome, do you have it?
How can I have it if I'm a supporter?
Because do you know what Trump derangement syndrome is?
Yeah, that's what I thought you had. Your whole shtick is basically going against them, right? Didn't you want to?
No. I actually got popular on TikTok under the Biden administration. But here, let me do this really quick for you. What are the 3 branches of government?
You're breaking up, man. I can't really hear you.
No, I'm not. What are the 3 branches of government?
What type of fucking shit is this? Listen, man. You said.
What are the 3 branches of government? Hold on, I'm proving that. Hold on, I'm proving that you have Trump derangement syndrome. What are the 3 branches of government?
I really don't give a fuck. Like, honestly, and every day where you just sit down and you research all this shit. I work 15 hours a day, bro.
Wow,
and I'm calling you to like speak man to man. So if you want to let me do that, you could do that. Otherwise, you can just keep on, avoiding the debate.
So wait, you
said that Trump fucked up the Middle East more than any other president.
Can I finish?
What do you think Biden did?
Hold on, can I speak real quick? Hold
no,
on.
because all you guys are the same. All you guys end up hanging up when you can't manage it.
You don't know the 3 branches of government. You don't know the 3 branches of government. Know how government works. How can you have a conversation about government? You don't know how it works.
You don't have to know that you don't want the military to kill. What the fuck does that have to do with anything? You're fucking living with your mom, you fucking loser. You're probably in the basement with all your LED lights. Go find a fucking real job.
Dude, you don't know the 3 branches of government. Like, we learned that in 6th grade.
Bro,
how can you have a political conversation when you don't know the 3 branches of government?
Got it. You want to move on, or you want to keep?
Yeah, we want to move on. You can't have a political discussion if you don't know the 3 branches of government, my guy. Oh my God. You don't know the 3 branches of government? And he says, this is what you guys do to run away from. Guy, you shouldn't even be talking about politics. You shouldn't even be speaking about politics. You don't know the 3 branches of government? Guy, he says, I work 15 hours a day. Do you understand? Like, if you don't know the 3 branches of government, you're not allowed to talk about politics. This is crazy. And he literally said, you're all the same. You run from debates. Bro, you're not debating. He said smart people don't like him. You're right about that, Travis. I forget that often. I'm sorry. I forget that often. That is insane, though, to me, though. I can't, like, that, and the 3 branches of, like, that's insane. You're calling into a political show, and you don't know the 3 branches of government? Holy shit. Holy shit. That's fucking crazy, bro. Guys, listen, like, I'm sorry. I don't even know what to say. I don't even. My definition stands, right? My definition stands. If you don't know the 3 branches of government and you wear a red hat and you wear red shirts and you say, "Make America Great Again," you have Trump derangement syndrome. Bro, look at this comment in the chat. Oh my God, are you serious? Right now? Why don't you just tell us the answer so we all know? Oh my God. Oh man, I don't know what to do. I feel like listen, I always thought it was bad on TikTok, dude. But I have never had even the slightest understanding of how simple some of these people are. It is remarkable. It really is. It's crazy. Can we get some blue tidal waves in the chat to get the Trump supporters shit out of here? Can we get some blue waves in the chat? Can we flood the chat with some blue waves? If you're a Trump supporter, call in 908-652-3703. That's what you need to do.
Call from Rebecca.
Rebecca, are you a Trump supporter?
No, but I just want to say you.
If you're a Trump supporter, call in. 908-652-3703. Rebecca cut out. I don't know. She said she wasn't a Trump supporter, though, so I imagine she's not going to call back in.
Call from
Kevin.
Kevin, are you a Trump supporter?
Yep.
Okay, Kevin. And we've been talking a lot about the vessels today. Let's get back on topic a little bit. Do you think Hegseth should be removed for ordering a 2-tap strike on a vessel to kill the survivors?
Nope. Think he should be promoted to vice president.
He should be what?
Promoted to vice president.
Okay, so then you support what's happening right now?
What's happening?
Guy, you called in to this. You called the number, right? You picked up the phone to call, correct?
It was telepathically, so I technically didn't pick it up.
How many have you had?
It was done through mind control.
Okay. Mark says, thank you for the $5 super chat. Appreciate you. Listen, man, I don't know. Have you been drinking tonight? Is that what we're dealing with here? Because I'm not interested if you've been drinking.
Negative.
Okay. So, again, I ask you, do you support the vessels being bombed or struck, yes or no?
Yes, some parts. No on some parts.
Okay, can you elaborate, please? And can you do it a little bit quicker?
Sure. I like explosions, but I don't like people dying.
Have a good day. Oh, Jesus Christ. If you are a Trump supporter, we're running out of time here. Need somebody to call in, 908-652-3703. By the way, if you guys have enjoyed the live, make sure you hit the thumbs up. Make sure you hit the subscribe button. We've had some fun pancaking Trump supporters this evening. Some good conversations, some trolls, some know-it-alls of nothing. But you know how it goes. You know how it goes, ladies and gentlemen.
Call from
Kevin.
No, Kevin, you're not
Call
coming
from
back in.
Keith.
Keith, are you a Trump supporter, Keith?
What's up, brother? We've talked before. I voted for him. Would I call myself his adorer, red cap wearing lover? No, I'm
No,
not
you
that.
can't do that.
I find myself kind of in the middle. What about you?
No, you can't do that, though.
What do you mean I can't do that?
With Trump, you can't do that because, like, in
What,
like
be in the middle?
Yeah, because in a normal political, well, if you support him, you can't be in the middle. But you can't be in the middle and support Trump, right? Because there are specific circumstances you can't overlook, such as the Epstein files primarily. That would be one of the major reasons. But there's other stuff too. This stuff with the vessels. I mean, there's a million things. January 6th, the 4 criminal indictments. You know, there's a million different things.
Yeah. Well, can we agree that what he stated on the January 6th was postured as incorrectly by news narratives?
No, okay. So if we're going to just be super careful about this, because it's very important that we explain. You're talking about that. What was that network? I don't even remember. What's the network? Whatever. That specific news network that's spliced.
ABC or CNN that got
no, it wasn't that.
A lot of money because they went out.
I think it was the BBC. Actually, I think it was the BBC.
So, yeah, BBC. Somebody went out and basically played some clips that were. Yeah.
No, that's not what they did. They spliced together.
I agree.
They spliced together two clips and put them together as if it was one. They were in sequence, but I don't think they ever said they were in sequence. But it insinuated they were in sequence. But it doesn't matter anyway, because when it comes to January 6th, and I haven't had this. I don't hate having this conversation, but let's do it. I can prove intent without talking about the specific language, right? Because the intent lies in the 3rd criminal indictment and the superseding indictment that lays out that Donald Trump didn't do anything as they were storming the Capitol for several hours. And so his lack of action proves intent. I can argue provocative language all day, and I can pretty much prove it through provocative language, because why would you say those things? But his lack of action once he saw them actually storming the Capitol proves he wanted it to happen.
I agree that there was a lack of action there, but there was a lack of action on both sides of the aisle.
What do you mean?
But can we agree on that?
No.
Well, I mean, National Guard should have been deployed. National Guard was never deployed. National Guard was offered to support before the event. That was never agreed upon. And I would say his lack of saying, hey, let's not resort to violence should have been stated, but also on the other side of the aisle, there should have been extra security there that was provided and offered.
Who has ultimate authority over the National Guard? We're actively witnessing the president deploy the National Guard to Washington, D.C. without anyone being able to tell him no within a 30-day window. Why didn't he do it then?
He was combated the entire way. But
no, he can't.
He should have. I agree with you.
No, but there is no one that can tell him no. Like, literally, there is no one that can tell him no. He has the authority within a 30-day window to deploy the National Guard in D.C. The president has the ultimate authority over the National Guard. There's no governor.
Right, but the governor does have a say.
There is no governor. Who's the governor of Washington, D.C.?
It was not Nancy Pelosi's the governor, but she was the acting leader in that situation that could have deployed additional assets to support and quell riots, right?
No, if you're talking about Capitol security, that's different than the National Guard, right? The president doesn't handle day-to-day operations.
I'm talking about security in general. Look, can you and I, as normal men, agree that the stain on our history, both sides acted terribly in accordance with the law? Both sides.
Not specific to this circumstance, no. The president...
So you think it's solely the right side's fault?
Correct.
And President Trump's fault?
Yes.
That's what you're going to stand on?
In regards to this, yes.
I think your basis there has no foundation.
I'll prove it. So let me lay out the argument. The president is the reason they're angry. The president is the reason they're present at the ellipse. The president is the reason.
I think the reason most
Hold
people...
on, you can't interrupt me while I'm laying out my argument.
I'll wait. I'm sorry.
So the president is present, right? The president is the reason they're angry, and the president is the reason they march to the Capitol. When you tell an angry group of supporters, people that trust what you're saying and believe what you're saying, that our country we're about to lose our country because this election was stolen from us, what would you expect them to do? Of course you would expect them to respond the way that they responded, right? So then Donald Trump goes to the White House, and we know this information now because there was a superseding indictment in his third criminal case, which was conspiracy to defraud the United States, that laid out, right, that Donald Trump was present in the White House dining hall during those several hours, and people were approaching him, telling him, hey, you need to come out and tell people to go home, because, by the way, coincidentally, when he did come out and tell people to go home, they did go home immediately. Do you know why? Because he's the reason they're there, he's the reason they're angry, and he's the reason they stormed the Capitol. That's why they listened to him. So if let's pretend for a second that he didn't realize his language was provocative and could potentially result in an insurrection, right? If he witnesses those events taking place just minutes later, he tweets, right? He acknowledges it's happening. He tells people, including someone who would have testified. Donald Trump would have been sitting across from a lot of people in this case, Mark Meadows being one of them, but told people when he was approached, hey, they're feet away from your vice president chanting, hang Mike Pence. What do you want to do? He said, who cares? I'm sorry, he said, so what? So
no, and I agree that language is dangerous. That's
but why didn't he come out right away if he didn't mean for it to happen? Because remember, the reason we use the word insurrection is because in Section 3 of the 14th Amendment, referred to as the Insurrection Clause, it uses the word insurrection, and it says engaged in insurrection. You don't have to be solely responsible, although I think he's mostly responsible. You don't have to be solely responsible. You just have to engage in insurrection. Can you tell me why the president would refuse to come out and tell people to go home, right, after he's watching it happen, if that wasn't his intention?
You know, so let me respond to what you stated, because I appreciate your premise and what you're stating and your argument. So I agree, it was technically, by term of definition, it was an insurrection. But how many people were killed?
There were several, but it's irrelevant to. It's an insurrection because they stopped the will of the people, so that's not a relevant point.
I think it's relevant. I think it's relevant. If there's loss of life, we need to know how many people died, right?
Not as it's relevant to the definition of insurrection. Insurrection refers to an uprising against the government. So if there was 20, 0, or 400, it's not relevant to why we call it an insurrection. They stopped the will of the people.
How many government officials lost their lives? How many active people in Congress lost their lives?
They would have had it not been for brave police officers. Do you know that I've spoken personally to Capitol Police Officers Act podcast?
I grew up here in my hometown personally. I know, right. I know Sheriff Nails. Sheriff Nails has been my sheriff for the last 20 years of my life in this general area of Texas. So,
well, do you know who Harry Dunn is?
Not do this.
Do you know Do you know who Harry Dunn is? Really tall black, really tall black guy.
The police officer that died.
No, he's a really tall black guy. He's one of the many police officers that fought the rioters on January 6th. I've spoken to him personally. Right. And several of his fellow law enforcement officers died.
There was. Yeah, several did, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think
some of which are after the fact, but the reason I'm avoiding it, the reason I'm not talking about it in like whether or not it's applicable to its definition is because when we're talking about insurrection, we're talking about interfering with the will of the people. What constitutionally protected process was occurring on the 6th of January, right, that was important?
The vote, right? We were
certification.
Trying to vote for the next president, correct?
The certification, right. It's called the certification. Is the certification a constitutionally protected process?
The certification of the votes.
Is the certification a constitutionally protected process?
I believe so, yeah.
Okay, so if you interfere with a constitutionally protected process to interfere with the will of the people, that's an insurrection. And they did for over 7 hours. It was delayed. So that's, by definition, an insurrection.
Right.
But yeah, several people died. It's just not relevant. I think there was 5 or something.
Currently, there's definitely been riots and other instances where the same things occurred in state and local levels too, right? So,
but again,
I understand though, but this is on a national scale, right?
relevant to what we're
national
talking
state.
about, right? When we're talking about intent, okay, my argument has always been that the insurrection clause is applicable to the president because he had the intent for that to result in interrupting the certification, which is what happened. Give me a reason why you would refuse to come out and tell people to go home when you're witnessing it happening. Had this case ever gone to trial, there would have been a forensic audit of his cell phone to tell us during that trial. I wish that case went to trial because he would have been convicted. But it would have shown us step by step, minute by minute, what Trump was doing on his phone because he was scrolling around on his phone. He was watching it on television, none of which was solving the problem. As people were telling him, Mr. President, please come out and tell people to go home. He refused, including his own son.
Yeah, no, and I agree. I think that's wrong. I do think that's wrong.
Why?
And so he should
Why
be
did he
faulted
do
for
that?
No, I'm not. I think, and let's just agree. We may agree to disagree here.
You're not
but I think
answering
both
the
sides
question.
Kind of like stirring the pot, brother.
No, you're in a
I
corner
think
right now, and you're not answering the question.
You're
Why would the president refuse to come out and tell?
Hold on.
I'm going to ask you one more time. Why would the president refuse to come out and tell people to go home after he witnessed that his language resulted in an insurrection if his intent wasn't to cause an insurrection?
Was it his language or was it the language that was manipulated by the media?
Wait, so then why did he eventually come out and tell people to go home?
I'm sorry, you cut out there.
I said, why did he eventually
go home?
Why did he eventually come out and tell people to go home? He eventually did, right? It just took him over 3 hours. Why did he wait so long?
Well, so let's look at the premise of what he stated.
Why did
right,
he
in that
wait
moment that
so
was
long? Why did he wait so long?
I don't think he felt a need to. See?
Hours later, over 3 hours later.
Because I think he wanted to really posture as like being still in control in the situation of the moment, which I don't think he really had.
That's not an answer.
No, I mean,
that's not an answer.
How is that not an answer?
I'm asking you. I'll ask you again. I mean, this is fucking crazy. I'm going to ask you again, dude. What is the intent?
I'm not using foul language with you.
No, but you're being. It doesn't matter if you're cursing at me or not. You're refusing to answer the question. He's sitting in the White House dining hall. Who invited them to the ellipse?
To the event?
Yes. Who invited them?
What do you mean by you? I'm saying this for communication purposes. You do cut out, like you're cutting out. So
That's because you're talking.
Who invited him to the event or the
ellipse?
Right.
The ellipse. Who invited them to the rally? Do you know what the rally was called? Stop the Steal. Who invited them there?
Stop the Steal. I think Trump was to speak, and that was essentially an invitation, right?
No, he said he invited people personally. So you're wrong right off the bat. So why were they angry?
I think people were feeling disenfranchised in their constitutional right to vote.
No, they were angry because Trump said the election was stolen from them. You're being disingenuous now, and I'm growing impatient with your answers. They were angry because Donald Trump told them it was stolen from them. Right?
Yeah, but intelligent people know that just because a president says something doesn't make it true.
But it never would have been. So what are you trying to sell me that this would have happened without Donald Trump's narrative?
No, I think you have a good basis to your argument that the narrative there was to cause some sort of call to action.
Then answer it.
Please ask your question clearly so I can understand it. You're asking,
would this have happened had Donald Trump
dispersed?
Would this have happened had Donald Trump not perpetuated that narrative, that false narrative?
I think at the time, now looking back, but I think at the time he thought the narrative that you're stating as a narrative, I thought he actually believed that. So I think he actually believed the election was
Doesn't
stolen
matter
from him.
as
so he was sitting there squawking.
It doesn't matter if he believed it or not in relation to whether or not it's an insurrection. No one else said that. He started that lie.
Well, I think he believed the election was stolen.
Whether or
Right?
not, okay, so
would you
first of
not,
all,
if you were the
let me be super clear. It doesn't matter if he thought that. There was no evidence to substantiate that claim, especially at that time.
clear evidence. There's evidence
Excuse
of
me,
voter fraud
sir.
in almost
Sir,
every
you have
state,
to
brother.
look at, first of all, no, there's not evidence, and that's besides the point. You have to look at the timeline of events.
People in Massachusetts.
Excuse
that
me,
had
sir,
an address
sir,
in the
sir,
middle
sir.
of a country
You
road
can't
were-
tell me
were
evidence
voting.
sir, you can't tell me evidence beyond January 6th. You can't tell me evidence, and by the way, I will argue with you all day on that evidence too, because there is none. But beyond January 6th, you have to consider the timeline. We're talking about up until January 6th. There was no evidence at that point. Biden wasn't even president yet. So go back to January 6th. He didn't have evidence at that point. Why was there no evidence presented at the rally then? There was none. Not a single piece of evidence was presented at that rally. And if there was evidence, he would have presented it. They were doing an investigation. He thought he couldn't believe.
I agree. No,
Okay,
I
so
agree
let
with
me
you.
finish my
Look,
point.
this is,
He couldn't,
somebody who voted
excuse
for
me,
him agreeing
he
with you.
couldn't believe that it was the case that he lost. Not that he had uncovered something that substantiated the election was stolen at that point. So, and regardless, as it applies to insurrection and its definition and the clause in the Constitution, it's not a relevant part of this discussion. Their presence at the ellipse was a result of him and his narrative that he perpetuated, correct?
Right, but are you saying his narrative in person, like what he was saying to the people in person on the
No.
microphone at that time?
No.
Or are you saying what was broadcasted globally?
No, the narrative he perpetuated since the night of the election. He was saying it was stolen that night. So from the night of the election until
'cause he
January
probably
6th.
believed it. 'Cause he probably had
Here,
people
Guy,
coming
we're
to him
going in
saying, "Hey, man,
circles
you're gonna
again. We're
win
going
this
in
like a blowout."
We're going in circles again. I already addressed that. That doesn't matter as it relates to what we're talking about. But he can think whatever he wants. There was no evidence to prove it, and regardless, it doesn't matter as it relates to this conversation. The point is, the narrative he was perpetuating about the election being stolen is the reason these people were angry, and it's the reason these people were present at the ellipse. You understand? At the ellipse.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying. Yeah.
So explain to me. So
and I
explain
understand,
to
and
me.
I'm not going to defend that. I mean,
Right. Okay. So now you're admitting he's the reason they're there. Then clearly he would need to be the one responsible as the president of the United States to come out and say, hey, guys, I wanted you to protest. I didn't mean for you to storm a government building. Maybe you misinterpreted what I said. Please turn around.
Well, he stated peaceful protest. We need to go down there and peacefully protest.
And he said
Those were
fight
his
over
words,
22
verbatim.
times. Okay, so then why didn't he come out and tell people
Hey,
to go home
You got to
earlier?
fight for your rights, right?
Why didn't
you got
he-
to fight for your rights if you get pulled over by a police officer nowadays. They want to fucking take that shit from you.
Why
So, yeah,
did
I
he
mean,
not?
I understand his language, but
Why
I can
did he not
understand
come
where you-
out? Why did he just answer the question, please? Why did he not come out when he was sitting in the White House dining hall? Why did he not come out and tell people to go home?
I think he wanted to stir the pot and see what happens, honestly.
That's engaging in insurrection. You just lost the debate. The insurrection clause says
I'm-
engaged in. You just lost.
Listen,
That's
at the
engaging
end
in
of the day-
insurrection.
at
So
the end
you're
of the day-
admitting, hold on, you just lost because you just admitted
look,
he
I'm
wanted
not
to
admitting
stir the
anything.
pot. He
I'm
wanted to
just
see
saying,
it
like,
happen. Excuse me,
he
sir.
probably did.
That's
Yeah.
intent. That's intent. You just admitted intent.
Well, I would say prosecute him then, man.
They
Why don't
tried.
you and your group? And what happened?
The case was dismissed due to a long-standing Department of Justice policy that they don't prosecute sitting. He was elected. That's what happened. They not only tried to prosecute him.
He got to it and nipped it in the butt.
They not only did what? Nipped it in the what?
Well, I'm
I just want to correct you. The term is, excuse me, sir. The term is nipped it in the bud, not nipped it in the butt. The term that you're using, nipped it in the butt, is nipped it in the bud. Let me just explain something. You're admitting intent. They tried to. They then tried, states individually removed him from the ballot, right? From their ballots, like Colorado, using Section 3 of the 14th Amendment.
Mm-hmm.
They used that provision in the Constitution to remove him from the ballot. The Supreme Court set precedent that Congress must act and reinstated him on the ballot in those states because there was fear of weaponization and a bunch of other things that went down. But regardless, there wasn't precedent in terms of its application. Then he was indicted, so they did try and do something. He got elected, so they would have done something. He got elected. That's why he's free.
Right. And I'll admit, like I think you have a great case there. I do, but this is where we're at now in December 4th, 2025. So I'm not gonna. My intention wasn't really to talk about the January 6th because I'm not extremely informed on it.
You brought it up.
There was a lot of things going on, and like you stated, well, I and maybe I did, but I if I do recall, I think we were talking about a couple different things. But all I'm trying to say is where we're at now. Was it I that brought it up?
Yes, it was you. You're just saying that now because you lost the debate, but you absolutely are the one that brought it up.
No.
Yes, you did.
Well, I kind of wanted to hear what you thought about the vessels because that's where I was trying to call you on.
Well, I've debated that all night, but you brought this up. I wasn't debating January 6th and don't typically debate January 6th, but if someone brings it up, then they're going to get cooked on it.
Listen, I'm not like gonna get my feelings hurt because some billionaire who is our active president right now, that at the time I had a billionaire or somebody who I thought was really uneducated. But there's a point that you could make that they're both uneducated. So I had two uneducated leaders that I had to vote for. So what would you do?
Are you saying Kamala Harris was uneducated? She graduated from law school.
Brother. Yes.
She graduated from law school.
Oh no.
What's your highest level of
and
education?
Let me tell you, you can go to Columbia Law School right now and graduate from Columbia Law School, and it's no longer this prestigious campus anymore, brother. Our education systems have been eroded completely.
Do you think that you
you can sit here and
go ahead?
Go ahead. No, I didn't mean to cut you off.
Nothing. I'm just waiting for you to finish your point so I can explain.
Well, I'm simply saying, let's use Columbia Law School as a perfect example. I know personally 3 friends of mine that have paid hundreds of thousands of dollars to go there, and now they're finishing up their degrees and they're feeling like it's not been worth any financial investment whatsoever.
So they think they could have passed the bar. Do you think you could pass the bar exam?
I think if I studied for it and I had the materials in front of me, I could pass the bar. Yeah, but I'm
No,
not a lawyer, and I'm not.
You
not
could. I
planning
can
to
tell
be a
you
lawyer.
right now, you couldn't.
My younger sister's a lawyer.
I can promise you would.
Well, that's a speculative.
Where did you go to college?
Well, you're making. I went to Texas A&M.
Okay, did you graduate?
I did graduate.
With what?
With a 3.9.
You have your bachelor's degree?
I did okay. Yeah, I got
In
yes,
what?
I have a
In what?
bachelor's
In what do you have a bachelor's degree in?
It's business administration.
Business administration. Okay. And you think, I'm not going to
Correct.
question you. I'm just going to choose to believe you. But regardless, right? A business admin degree and a law degree
well,
are entirely
I've
separate.
tried to be genuine.
And she graduated.
No, I
just
agree.
I just want to let you know she graduated from Howard University, right, with a political science and economics degree. She's incredibly bright. Incredibly bright. Then she went to University of California.
I disagree.
And she went to
with
law
you,
school.
I disagree with you. I think
And she passed the bar
the way that
exam.
she broadcasted herself to the public is the reason why she failed.
She's worked in all
Become
three
the
branches
first
of
woman
government.
president of the
Guy,
United
but
States.
listen, to call someone who's been a district attorney, an attorney general, right, of California, a U.S. senator, a vice president.
Right, of California.
Guy, if you're going to downplay these achievements,
Is everything so? Well, the way that like you guys sit here and say that, like, okay, I mean, for an example, like you can go to California and get a law degree and then graduate school and go to work and get far in your career. I agree, but you could still be a fucking idiot.
Okay. Well, can you substantiate that she's a fucking idiot for me real quick? Give me an example of her displaying that she's an idiot.
Her inability to really connect with the people in the middle. Example of
That
how
would not display
she
she's a
ran on a
idiot.
platform and then really cornered herself.
I would actually argue she did that too much.
What about not being? There's tons of situations where she was not ready for interviews. She couldn't answer questions.
Never happened. How was she not ready for interviews? Give me one example.
Never happened.
Give me one interview she was not
She's
prepared.
had a couple interviews where she had to laugh off. the
Name
questions
one.
because she couldn't answer the questions, my man.
Name one.
Okay, let me go back and
Wait,
pull the
you
time
don't
date
know
from
them?
The interview with, I think it was not off the top of my head. No, I watched them on a what was it?
Okay, so I'll simplify it for you.
Is it
Give me
ABC? Was it ABC
something she
Network?
did in the interview specifically that displayed her lack of intelligence.
We are going down a rabbit hole here. Hold on, give me a minute.
I'm waiting.
Yeah, I'm trying to pull it up. Give me a second. I will pull
What are
the
you pulling
entire
up? I
interview
said,
for you.
give me an example of her displaying a lack of intelligence. What specifically did she say that displayed a lack of intelligence?
So, in a debate, you should be criticized, right? And you should be able to respond without having anything rehearsed. She could not respond in debates without having lines rehearsed.
Well, give me an example. What line?
Okay, for instance, during the 2024 presidential debates,
This guy's
some
reading from
observed
Google, by the
and
way.
felt her responses. I'm not reading from Google. I'm going back from the debates that we're talking about here because
Okay,
you're
what
asking
source?
me
Can you just tell me what source you're
asking me-
looking at? Can you just tell me what source you're looking at real quick?
Yes, this is Brain Manager IO.
Brain Manager IO?
Which is, I think, correct. Which is, I would say, more of looking at past, present IQ tests. And I agree. You make a great point that she is professionally looking. She has a very high IQ from her career, for sure.
Wait. How
Right?
can you have
She
a
did go to
high
Howard
IQ and be a fucking idiot? Have you ever taken an IQ test? And I don't mean on Facebook. You passed.
what
You have
I'm
a high
saying is,
IQ and you
if
passed
you
that
can't
test.
sit there
Listen, you passed the IQ test, right, with a high score. I can tell you, you know some things. So where did you get you're reading Brain Manager IO, and you're reading that she has a high IQ now, clearly. And now you're saying you're conceding she has an high. You just said she has a high IQ. She can't be a fucking idiot if she has a high IQ.
All right, where is Ukraine? This is a perfect one.
What?
Where is Ukraine located? In what country? What continent?
Oh my God, guy!
No,
make
no,
your, just
no,
make
I
your.
want to know.
No, just make your point. Tell me what she said. Go ahead. I know what you're going to say already. Say it.
No, well, I
say it.
well,
What
I
did
just
she
wanna
say?
know what you
Say what
think.
she said. Does it not say it there for you?
They were asking her. What did she think about Ukraine, and she
what did she
stated
say?
Ukraine is a country in Europe. It exists next to another country called Russia. Russia is a bigger country.
It does.
Russia is a powerful country.
It is.
Russia decided to invade a smaller country called
Correct.
Ukraine. I agree.
Everything she just said is correct.
So
it is a country. It is a country located in Eastern Europe. It is next to Russia. It does border Poland, which is a NATO country. Everything she just said is correct.
I am very aware. I have multiple friends that have.
Guy, this is
lost
a
body parts and
long-standing
limbs over
guy.
Ukraine, so-
Listen, this is about the 40th time I've heard this talking point about this Ukraine thing. She literally was dumbing it down. What did she say in there that's incorrect?
What I'm saying is the way she expressed it in her interview is it made her look like she was uneducated about the situation.
He can't
right?
answer what
and I
was
agree.
incorrect.
Your points you made are correct.
You can't answer what she said that was
basically
incorrect.
Spit it out. She spit it out in a word salad, brother.
How
you
is
can't
that
win
a
debate
word
with
salad?
That's
How
what
is that
she
a
did.
word salad? Ukraine is a country located in Europe, which it is. It's in Eastern Europe. It borders Russia, right? It borders Poland. Poland is a NATO country. What else was said? Did you not think Ukraine was in Europe? Is that what the issue is here? I think you didn't know that Ukraine was in
I
Europe.
know where
No,
Ukraine
I
is at.
think you. I'm going to be honest with you. I think you didn't know Ukraine was in
You are
Europe.
bombastic in your argument there.
No,
I know
I've been
exactly
cooking
where
you pretty
it is.
hard
I know
throughout
where
this
Odessa
conversation.
is. I know, brother. I've been to Odessa. You can.
That's
you can just
great
stop
for
there,
you.
please.
That's
What about her consistency in policy stance? Her inconsistencies in policy stance. So she's
like what?
Been criticized. Harris at this time appeared inconsistent. In
What
her
source are
key
you
political
reading
issues,
from? What source?
particularly
Wait,
on
wait. What
topics-
source are you reading from?
Back what I stated. This is the same one, brother.
So
Brain
you're
Manager
reading.
IO.
Hold on.
I'm telling you because they go in.
Let me read this. He's reading from a platform that discusses the IQ of people. Is that what you're doing?
Non-biased and tries to state what it discusses and manages.
So what does it say about her IQ? So tell me what it says about her IQ. Tell me what it says about her IQ. What does it say specifically about her IQ? Because you know what IQ stands for, correct? What's the I in IQ
I
stand
understand what
for?
IQ stands
So then tell me, what does it say specifically about her IQ? I want you to read that out loud for the chat, since you're picking and choosing what things to select to try and make her look bad. What specifically does it say about her IQ? Read it out loud.
Look, man, I'm going to state this. She does have a bright future in politics.
Can you read
I'll
it
state
out
that
loud
because
for
that's
everybody
what
really
it's
quick
stated.
so
She
I can
still
prove?
has a great
Can you read
argument
it
to be
out
made.
loud for everybody so I can prove you're being disingenuous? Go ahead. Read it out loud for everybody. I want you to
So
read it
while
out.
Harris has faced fear, I'm reading it. Can you please stop interrupting me? I have been respectful to you. Please stop.
It's crazy that you fucking... Did you find this on Grok?
No, brother, man. I told you my source. You can go look this up yourself. It's Brain
So does
Manager.
it say she has a
IQ.
high IQ?
It's brainmanager.io. I'm sorry.
Does
you
it
got me
say
mixing
she has
my
a
words
high
up.
IQ?
It does state that she's got some pretty good professional statements that mark her IQ as pretty high. Yes,
Right. So
I'm
there
not
we
saying
go.
that
So
she's
let's
not.
stop right here,
But
everybody.
when you go on
He's
stage
on a
and you can't
website.
debate-
He's on a website that literally says she has a high IQ. And now He's trying to pick and choose select criticisms without including their determination that her IQ is significantly high and above average.
Right.
Your original claim was that she was a fucking idiot. Let's be super clear here.
You know, man, I was trying to be respectful and come from just a place in the middle who really, I don't care for Trump. I don't care for the left. I really don't care for the right either. I'm just trying to make it and be successful in my life. And you seem to really just be like very agitated at me for trying to just answer some questions that I'm no professional in. I'm not trying to be a professional in. I'm just trying to engage with you in some dialogue, because I think the moment we stop talking is the moment violence occurs, right? So if you want to just shut it down and try and humiliate me or belittle me, or
Charlie Kirk said that too, and Charlie Kirk was literally talking when he died.
Right, I know, and he was
so
shot
that's
by a
not
crazy
that statement's
trans
incorrect, because
wannabe.
Charlie Kirk was literally unalived while he was speaking. Literally, Charlie Kirk was literally
killed. Do you think?
Hold
Charlie
on,
Kirk's
can I
death was
finish?
justified?
Charlie
Do you think
Kirk.
it was
You
deserving?
just quoted Charlie Kirk, who was literally killed while he was talking, with or without gang violence.
Right, and what I'm saying is, to avoid more of that, I think we should continue to open dialogue and continue to talk.
But he was talking. He was talking when he was
right
when he was
before
killed.
he was abruptly interrupted by right.
But they weren't. But that's not what the
and
quote
murdered.
means. The quote means when we stop talking, right? Then that's when the violence starts. But he never stopped talking until he was pew-pewed. So the point is that when you, and the reason I'm stating this for you is that when you can, you're missing the point. Let me speak and I'll explain. The point I'm making is that just because you're speaking doesn't mean you're not causing harm. Charlie Kirk said things that were harmful, which resulted in violence. And you demeaning and calling a black woman a fucking idiot you can disagree with her on policy all you want, but you trying to make it seem like a black woman is stupid because you disagree with her, or is a fucking idiot because you disagree with her, I take offense to that. That's harmful. Those are harmful statements
I
to me.
didn't mention her race or skin color whatsoever.
You don't have to. You don't have to.
I think that
you voted for Trump and you're calling Kamala Harris a
well,
fucking
you made
idiot.
those statements. I didn't bring it. I didn't bring in her color or skin. I'd vote for anybody that has some sort of half mind in this country. It seems like half the fucking country has lost its mind. So what I'm trying to state is you're bringing in things that I didn't even mention, and now you're trying to levy that against me. And
I'm trying to tell you
clearly
that
like a standard.
No, I'm just trying to tell you the statements you're making are harmful. And so I'm responding to those statements, right? In a way
who was harmed by my statement? Who was physically harmed by my statement? Because harm is physical, right? It physically affects people, right?
Harm is physical?
Now, it has to be physical, right? To harm someone.
There's no such thing as emotional harm. There's no such thing as emotional harm.
I'm not.
Listen, I have to go. Thanks for calling in. Hope to speak to you again, and I'll hopefully explain this further to you. But yeah, it's very deliberate.
Respectfully, thank you for your time.
All right, take care. So listen, guys, I have to run. I went way over in my time with that because I had to address that. So I'm going to pop off here now. I love you guys. I appreciate you. If you guys would like to support further, you can in the link tree in my bio, but I have to go because I'm way over my time. So thank you for coming, everybody. Hope you have a wonderful day. And I will see you later. Be well, everybody.